and 98.5 FM. The first hour of Sports Time is brought to you by Lexus of Memphis. Here are your hosts, Brett Stats Norsworthy and Bryant Dacus.
Welcome into Sports Time. Bryant and Brett with you. Landon Schmidt producing. We're Sports Time. We're with you for the next 3 hours on this Tuesday afternoon. A busy Tuesday around the world of sports. Obviously, a lot of hoops to talk about with some college action last night, some top 25 action, a lot of SEC play tonight. We'll certainly get to some Tiger talk as well. Grizzlies in action tonight. On the NBA side of things, we've got some baseball with the WBC team starting to get their exhibition games in. Team USA in action right now on ESPN. We've got a lot of football to discuss, especially in the NFL, as it really is decision day. News pretty much everywhere around the NFL, including the news just now breaking that the Cardinals have informed Kyler Murray that they will release him next Wednesday, barring a last-minute trade. So news everywhere, pretty much every single sport, so a ton to get into over these next 3 hours. But, Brett, how are you this afternoon?
I'm doing well. And is it me, or has college football list season started earlier this year than ever?
Yeah, well, it feels like every year it gets a little earlier, and obviously with more things to rank and more lists to make, it feels like you got to start earlier to get it all in.
And I do. I love Josh Pate and his content. I love him now very prominently featured on ESPN, kind of the commissioner, the president of college football as he goes by. And he had a tweet yesterday, maybe over the weekend. He had his 8 most hated teams in college football. See if you agree or disagree.
Okay.
Number 1, Notre Dame.
Okay.
8.
Oh! I thought you were going to list all of them.
I would. You want me to do that?
No. I like this better. This better. I would say, yeah, I think Notre Dame gets a lot of hate.
No. Do you?
Oh, do I? Oh,
yeah.
No.
No, nor do I. But they get a lot. I agree with that.
Sure.
I'm not even. I'm more, and it incenses. I mean, incenses a friend of mine.
Yeah.
That I'm more on the like. If it were a tug of war, I mean, the tape's just right there on like.
Yeah.
Over just mildly dislike. Not even close to hate.
Yeah. No, I'm the same.
Number 2, Alabama.
I don't necessarily hate them.
Can't be named Bryant hate Alabama.
Well,
even though there's no connection.
I mean, I could, even though there's no connection. My parents probably hate Alabama because for the first however many years of my life, everyone asked them if I was named after Bear Bryant.
You ought to go one year at the Bryant Museum and Library in Tuscaloosa. They have a day where any namesake.
Oh, wow.
If you were named after him, middle name or whatever, and they have a reunion, you ought to go and claim it. Yeah,
I should.
Yeah,
right. Yeah, that's me.
Yeah, I love Alabama. Number 3, Texas.
I don't hate Texas. Matthew McConaughey loves Texas, so I love Texas. How about that? Hook 'em.
It's the closest one on this list for me. But hate would be very, very strong. For LSU, I don't hate LSU.
No, I don't.
I love going to Baton Rouge. I don't hate Lane.
No, I don't either.
I want to beat him every single time I play him the rest of my life.
Yeah.
I want to beat them in everything every single time Ole Miss plays them the rest of my life. But hate is not it. The U, number 5, the U.
No, I don't hate the U.
I don't. I didn't. I haven't. No. I have no reason. Number 6. And I'm surprised this is on the list. Southern Cal.
I don't hate them.
I don't, and kind of like that, a little bit like Notre Dame, that history. I mean, I would think with Alabama and Notre Dame, that's probably your 3 biggest well, Ohio State.
Sure.
And Ohio State's 8th, Michigan 7th, Ohio State 8th. That's the 8. I don't hate Michigan or Ohio State. We're not haters.
I hate Michigan.
You do?
Yeah. I don't really have a good reason, but I guess I have to pick a side of the war, and I pick Ohio State. How about that?
Well, now, I would be. I'm Ohio State if I had to pick a side in that game.
Yeah.
And went to that game, but want to go to that game at Ann Arbor. Never been to a game at Ann Arbor, And I think there I might join in with the flock and be from Michigan.
There you go. Hey, well, might as well, right? I mean, that's what you got to do if you're not really rooting for either team or not a fan of either team. Just go with the home team. I mean, that's always the best thing to do.
But there are a lot of lists out.
Yeah, no, it is definitely list season. It's only going to become more and more as we slowly get closer and closer to the season, especially
our
with spring
friend
training.
Kevin Sweeney tweeting almost at this very moment what BYU is building for the future with what they're signing.
Yeah, no, they just signed another 5-star, or at least got a commitment from a 5-star. So I mean,
commitment. You're correct.
They definitely are loading up, and it's not just going to be 1 year with AJ DeBonza. It's going to be kind of a recurring thing where they have the money right, and they obviously have a coach that can go out there and sell. I've worked in the NBA. I know what you need to do to get there, and these kids, when you talk money and the next level, it really sells to them. So yeah, BYU is certainly going to continue building, and we'll see what they can do the rest of this season with the team they've got currently constructed. But yeah, it looks like things aren't going to fall off the map once AJ DeBonza leaves town.
Almost, just the basketball operation, kind of a little Utah Jazz operation.
Yeah, I mean, it kind of is.
The same owner.
Yeah,
same guy that owns the Jazz owns BYU basketball.
Yeah, you follow that money, and it's all the same. And so, yeah, I mean, the reports out there and the things you hear about, hey, just tell us how much you need, and we'll hook you up. It sounds like they're in a good spot, and obviously that BYU fan base, they are unbelievable, and they really get up for their team. And so it seems like a fun place to play. It seems like a fun place to watch a game, and it doesn't surprise me now that they've got a really good head coach over there and got a lot of money in there that they're getting this sort of success in terms of bringing guys in.
The Grizzlies are only, in the all-important loss column, only 3 out for the last play-in spot we don't want.
Yeah, let's make it a little bit more tonight on the road against Minnesota.
Minnesota needs a win. The Grizzlies need a loss. Yeah. Let's all leave happy.
Yeah, I mean, let's all work it out and all leave happy. And then tomorrow night I can't sell anything against Portland. I don't know.
3 back. But tomorrow night really need to lose.
Yeah,
so that would be 2 right there, wouldn't it?
Yeah, that's right. I mean, that's just that's kind of what it is now with the play-in. I mean, you can try to tank, and you can try to want no part of it, and you're still always seemingly around it unless you're a team like Sacramento or Indiana that just absolutely isn't going to win games.
Portland not playing tonight, so if the Grizzlies won tonight and won tomorrow night. Would wake up Thursday morning 2 out in the all-important loss column.
Oh man, well let's try to avoid that. I mean, as much as I love winning and would love to see the Grizzlies, play well and get wins, let's do it the way that they did it when they started the tank, where they play really well for 3.5 quarters and then fall off in those final couple of minutes and end up losing the game.
I never found NBC Sportsnet.
Did you not? I was thinking about you last night, wondering if you ever found it. I told you I tried to look it up, and I really couldn't get a straight answer on where it was on DirecTV.
Oh, I went to the Google machine and it said 601 on DirecTV, and it categorically was not.
I couldn't get a straight answer, so I didn't know.
601 was some type of NBC something or another, but not
what you were looking for. Not one that had a game on it last night. So that's unfortunate.
Live racing on coast to coast on 602.
Okay.
Some type of hunting show on 604.
Right.
I'm not even getting 601 now.
Wow.
They won't let me even get to it.
Oh man. It was teasing you last night.
Yeah.
At least let you get there, and then it went.
Boy, I can't read what's on $5.99. Wow.
Well, yeah. You start. You go down from 100 to a different 100. It can get things can change just like that. Wow. Yeah. No. Okay. Well, and now you know.
And it's not on. It was pay per view.
Yes. No. You have to pay for that stuff, Brett. And I know.
No more higher TV bill than I already have.
No, certainly not.
It's over for Golden State, isn't it?
Yeah, it feels like it. And I think we obviously saw this coming with the age and just these guys are coming to the end of their career. Obviously, right now with Steph out, if he's on the court, he certainly helps things. But it just seems like the kind of final hurrah for a couple of these guys. I think they have some young pieces that they can certainly start building around for the future. But they don't seem to have anybody on this roster that you can say, all right, Steph, you're done. Draymond, you're done. let's hand the keys over to X player and this thing's going to get back to where it once was. It's going to take some time.
2 first-round Western Conference playoff exits are going to be ugly and very sad for these two proud fan bases. It's going to be the Lakers and Golden State.
Yeah, and you look at both of those, and they're in not great spots right now. And certainly the Lakers, obviously they've won back-to-back games, but people not happy. I mean, when you have LeBron out on the court and you have Luka right there next to him, I mean, they do not expect to be currently the 6th seed in the West. They expect to be there at the top with those two type of stars, and just haven't really gotten that. Ayton has not really given them what they really needed at the center position, and so yeah, I mean, you look up right now and Lakers at 6th and Golden State at 8. I mean, it could be tricky. Golden State, if the season ended right now, they would have to try to get out of the play-in just to make it to the playoffs. But for the Lakers, being that 6th seed, if they don't improve, they're going to have a really tough test against the Houston Rockets again. If the playoffs started today, that would be a really, really tough series for them to go out there and win. And yeah, I mean, there would be some wild headlines if both the Lakers and the Warriors go out in the first round.
And last night at his weekly coaching show, once again, Penny Hardaway he didn't back off of the kind of the mistreatment. He said he's been getting heat every day since he was hired at Memphis, so he's used to it.
Yeah, no, and obviously we talked about his comments after the game on Sunday that were very similar to those last night, and so yeah, I mean, I hate to see it turning in this direction where obviously it's something we've seen before with Penny Hardaway with some of these comments, but I just don't see that. I don't see that. I hear what a lot of people say. I read what a lot of people say. I watch what a lot of people say, and I just I have not gotten that from the local or national media.
Brian, are you getting from anybody, local or national, that he should be fired?
No. I don't think anybody wants to see that.
I don't know. I don't know that we're getting from many the negotiated settlement. Part 3 of the options yesterday.
No, I don't
keep,
think so.
fire, or negotiated settlement.
No.
I think everybody, near and far. Now, I always hear it's a little bit like the players have quit, but nobody names them. And I hear a little bit, well, some national have always been after him. Who?
Yeah.
Who nationally?
Yeah, it's a good question. I really don't know. I mean, if somebody has a name, I'd love to hear it because obviously I'm not plugged in with everybody nationally. So maybe I missed
there's no way to be.
Exactly. So there's a good chance I missed it, but I certainly haven't seen any. And yeah, I mean, it really feels like everybody knows the situation, knows what Penny Hardaway means to this university and the city, and wants to see it work out. It's just that when you look up and you watch these games and you look at that record and you see what's kind of going on with this program, it's hard to watch and feel really good about where this program is right now.
Brian, I know I kid with you. It feels like you have always been here.
Yeah.
Even though you're more than half my age, it feels like you've been here the whole time with me. When I say, Brian, guess where I was? You ought to say, Brett, I was here with you.
Yeah. We were sitting right next to each other.
Brian, I know that in the spring of 18, when it went down and Tubby was out and Penny Hardaway was in, while I was not nearly as enthusiastic as most, as 90%, is the great majority, as it was, I was not opposed to it. I said, I think this is break glass in case of emergency. I don't think it's that emergency, but apparently the administration and the fans and the donor base and all the ticket buyers and the fans, everybody that matters, they did. So, okay. And my biggest reluctance question when it first started percolating was, he really want to do this? Because, fashionable, great post-NBA life. Well, then once the signal went out that he did want to do it, and he badly wanted to do it, and he was in charge of the plan to do it and pulled it off, he got the job. Okay, let's see how it works. And I thought with that magnetism of Penny Hardaway that it would be a good thing. I really thought by now, after if it got to 8 years, and I was a little worried, if it's a disaster, it'll be 2 or 3 things. It'll be 2 or 3 years. It'll be Clyde Drexler, and Patrick Ewing had a little more than that. But early on, you could see that it was enough there that it wasn't going to be that disaster. I would have thought at the end of 8 years, probably a Sweet 16 or 2, probably not much past that. And that would be okay, and that would keep people, plenty hungry, or might really aggravate them, that you keep getting there and you can't get past there. I would have not thought after now after this year, after 8 years, only 3 NCAA tournaments.
Yeah.
Only 3. But I was amenable to it. Again, less enthusiastic as most, but okay, fine. And I didn't get that dug in on on Tubby Smith. I didn't think anybody should be done quite like that. And I think there's usually payback when kind of what goes around comes around. Not big on karma, but I am big on it all. The big wheel keeps spinning around. I made a vow on the air before opening night of the first year of the 18-19 year. 3 years. I promised 3 years. And it wasn't one of my deals like my baseball deal. I kept it. Whole cloth, the whole deal. Not a negative word. Not a criticism one. Let him 3 years. Who else gets that in anything around here from anybody?
No, nobody.
I mean, flipping Danny Schaefer being the manager of the Redbirds didn't get that.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
And I kept it.
Yeah. I mean, it is a.
So where's this people been after him?
No, I don't get it.
And there is no dissuading him from it. He is dug in that he has been mistreated.
Yeah.
And when any walk of life, any relationship, business, personal, friendship, anything like that. Once you get your mindset that you have been mistreated by an offending party, nothing's changing your mind.
Yeah, no, that is true. That is very, very true. We'll talk a lot of Tigers throughout today's show. We'll certainly get into it a lot at 4:30. And Brett, you talked about not big on karma. I was thinking of you when this happened last night. First off, was driving down the street last night. Black cat ran across the road. Brett, you know what that means. I mean,
it means nothing. It means speed up and run over.
I was just kicking myself that I had to keep driving down that road and pass through where that black cat was. Also, last night, I talked so much yesterday about Cleveland State. Oh, man, hammer Cleveland State against IU Indy. That game started 9-0 IU Indy while I was watching. I had to turn it off because I was driving. When I got to where I was going, they had cut the lead to 2. So, Brett, you know what that means. While I was watching it, bad juju.
So you had to turn it back to get back on a good roll.
No. I couldn't watch it at all. I mean, I could not watch a second of it because, Brett, the bad juju was while I was watching it. The good juju was while I wasn't watching it. So I didn't watch it. You're welcome, anybody out there that tailed, because Cleveland State ended up winning. So that was
and got there on the number, didn't they?
I sure did. Yeah, they were an underdog in that game, so they won and they got the plus 2.5. So yeah, it was a big night for Cleveland State. I went back and rewatched it, but I could not watch it live because the juju was just not working there.
Do you think the cat had anything to do with it?
Well, the cat was later, so I don't know.
Okay.
I hope the
so you just kind of on a roll.
On. Yeah, no, I really was. The juju was all over the place last night, Brett. So hopefully the bad luck from the cat doesn't creep into the next 3 hours doing show. But we shall see. But let me set up today's show before we get to top and not top story of the day. 3:30. We're going to talk some college basketball. Mark Wise from ESPN. He's their college basketball analyst. He'll join us. We'll talk a lot of college hoops. We'll talk a lot of SEC. We'll get his thoughts on what's going on here in Memphis with the Tigers. We'll talk about some of those top teams in the country as we are 1 week closer to Selection Sunday. 3:45, we'll talk the Grizzlies as they're in action. Game 1 of a back-to-back tonight on the road against Minnesota. Tomorrow at home against Portland. We'll talk some other news out of the NBA as well. 4 o'clock, Brent Beard from First Coast News down in Jacksonville. He'll join us. We'll talk college football and college basketball with Brent. Brett talking about list season. It is a lot of lists out there around college football. We'll get his thoughts on some of those. We'll also talk a little college hoops with Brent as well. 4:30, this will be fun. We've talked so much about the Tigers needing to go out and hire a general manager next year for this basketball program. Well, we're going to become the general managers of this current roster. Talk about those guys that we think the Tigers should keep, maybe those guys that they should lead through the open door and tell them the
Penny's going to listen to our list about as much as he will to whoever they hire as GM.
Yes, that could be very unfortunately true. But we're gonna give it a try and play general manager at 4:30. 4:45, we'll get the big number of the day. 5 o'clock, Bo Marchant. He'll join us, talk the NFL. A perfect day for us to have Bo. Well, it's always a perfect day to have Bo Marchant on, but so much NFL news going around as we are really getting a good idea of what free agency will look like with a lot of franchise tags either being placed or not being placed on different guys. We also got the news about Kyler Murray going to be waived next week, barring any last-minute trades. 5:30, we'll talk about what's trending, and at 5:45, we'll wrap up today's show like we always do with Moe's and Humdinger's Crunch Time. Let me remind you, we're in our Family Leisure Studios where family and fun come together. The floor model spa sale is going on right now at Family Leisure. It's time to make room. Deep discounts on over 100 display models and in-stock hot tubs, swim spas, and cold plunges. Have you been dreaming about a new spa? Well, now is the time to buy. Spas as low as $99 a month and over $1,000 in free upgrades with every spa purchased. $8,000 spas only $159 a month with free LED lights and waterfalls available on most models. So head out there to Family Leisure, 2120 Whitten Road, just north of I-40.
He's Brian, I'm Brett. We're Sportstime, and we're live and local and with you until 6 o'clock. We want you to be a part of our show by texting or calling 901-360-8255. That's the Sissy's Log Cabin text and talk line. And Landon Schmidt, our producer, every day doing the great job. And we're always live and local from our Family Leisure studio and proud of it. And it is Family Leisure time of year. Let's get outside and enjoy this weather and start it. Start everything for that patio and everything outdoors, outside with the great people at Family Leisure. This hour brought to you every day by Lexus of Memphis at 2600 Ridgeway and online at lexusofmemphis.com. Great offers on all 2026 models and always special leasing options. Call them at 901-334-9673. But stop by the only Lexus dealership in town at 2600 Ridgeway, and that's where you can put yourself in the driver's seat of the all-new 2026 flagship LS500, and you'll be looking and you'll be driving in style. When you purchase a Lexus, you get top-of-the-line engineering and design, and that makes for the safe luxury driving experience. Online at lexusofmemphis.com. Experience amazing at Lexus of Memphis.
Top story of the day.
Well, my top story of the day, March is here, and that means it is the season of college basketball. We've talked a lot of the low major.
Get the brackets out.
Oh, I'm ready for it. But we've got a lot of low major, mid-major conference tournaments getting started this week. But last night with
There's more emotion at these than next week.
No, you're absolutely right. I mean, it means a ton for these conferences. But last night, all eyes were on ESPN with Big Monday, and Duke just continues to roll through these opponents. Last night it was a 93-64 win over NC State, and you look at what this team has done recently, really ever since that loss against North Carolina that came to the buzzer beater final shot of the game. They have just been winning with ease. A 70-54 win on the road at Pitt, 67-54 over Clemson, 101-64 over Syracuse, 68-63 over then number 1 Michigan, 100-56 on the road against Notre Dame, 77-51 over then ranked 11 Virginia, and then last night, like I mentioned, the 93-64 win on the road against NC State. This Duke team has gotten it done all season long, but man, they have taken it to another level as we've gotten into March, as we're getting closer to tournament time. And then that game last night, another loss for Iowa State, but it was another big win at home for Arizona, another team that just keeps on rolling. So two really, really fun matchups. We've got a lot of really good matchups tonight, including a ton of SEC games, with the first game, Tennessee on the road at South Carolina, starting in just a couple hours at 5 o'clock.
Yeah.
So it'll be a fun night tonight.
It will be. My top story, tournaments right there with you. Sun Belt Tournament, Patriot League Tournament, Sun Belt in Pensacola, Patriot on campus tonight, I think. Is that right?
I believe that's right.
Horizon continues on campus. Floodgates really open tomorrow, in conference tournament action with afternoon games, then Thursday afternoon games, and then on Friday, 11 Central till well after midnight. But tonight, 12 top 25 games. Big or small, you have to win this time of year. Small, you have to win or it's over.
That's right.
Big, you need to win to keep shining up that resume. And tonight, if you don't think we're living in an alternate universe, Nebraska, UCLA. Nebraska ranked, UCLA not.
That's right. What there's a lot to unpack there. I mean, I understand. All you said was just ranked Nebraska on the road at unranked UCLA. A lot to unpack there.
Nebraska and UCLA in the same conference.
No, it is madness. But it has been a great season for Nebraska, and we'll see if they can keep that rolling tonight on the road.
Not top story of the day.
Well, my not top story of the day, it is the Grizzlies in action tonight, the first of a back-to-back on the road. Mentioned it earlier against Minnesota, a Minnesota team that would love to keep winning, and a Grizzlies team that would love to maybe keep losing and add some more losses.
Happy.
Yeah, I mean, there's a way for everyone to be very, very happy with the result tonight, but we did get the status report last night from Grizzlies PR. Questionable tonight. Santi Aldama, Cedric Coward, and Ty Jerome. We know Ty Jerome has been kind of bouncing back and forth from the status report to playing, back to the status report as he continues to return from the injury that kept him out most of the start of the season. But Santi Aldama hasn't played since before the All-Star break. Cedric Coward, we know, went down with that knee injury, so it'll be interesting to see how many of these three play tonight. I'm sure whoever plays tonight will not play tomorrow night. If one of those three doesn't play tonight, they'll likely play tomorrow night, so could get some of those guys back, which will be fun to watch. But we know what this season is the rest of the way, but hopefully it will be an entertaining game tonight against Minnesota.
My not top story, what happened to that wide open college basketball season?
Yeah.
We heard about that. It's really coalesced down to, I think, about 5, maybe 6 teams. The November to March campaign has a way of doing that. But I remember, and I hope everybody, but I know we all have a collective memory of a net, but let's try to remember that next year in November and December when we're talking 16, 17, 18 teams can win it. No, they can't. And it always gets down to what we've gotten down to. We've gotten down to Duke, Arizona, Michigan, UConn, and Florida, and there's nothing new about any of those names.
No, nothing new at all, and all of those teams look like the group that can make that big run in the dance. But that'll do it for top and not top story of the day. Let's get to our first break, and when we return, we're talking some college hoops. Mark Wise from ESPN, he joins us next.
Broadcasting from the Family Leisure Studio, we are Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
At Jason's Deli, when you're dining in or picking up curbside, you can expect wholesome food and no surprises, just delicious sandwiches, crisp salads, and quick quality meals made with the freshest ingredients and no artificial trans fats, MSG, high fructose corn syrup, or artificial colors and dyes. Around here, a lot of thought goes into what we put into our food and what we take out of it, because you're not just taking a bite, you're getting a taste of who we are. New items are constantly being created to expand our menu for all tastes and special diets with vegan and gluten-free options available. Convenience and on-time delivery you can count on. It's just a click away at jasonsdeli.com, so whether you need to feed 5 people or 5,000, the team at Jason's Deli, they have the credentials and the commitment to keep you satisfied. Freshness is nearby at Jason's Deli with locations at Ridgeway in the Park Place Center, Poplar and Highland, Germantown Road in Cordova, and on Goodman Road in Olive Branch. Jason's Deli. It's wholesome food and no surprises.
Unlock your new go-to spot, Codes Dispensary in Steele, Missouri, just over an hour from Memphis. When you're ready for a legal, reliable option, they're right up the road. Explore the full menu of top-shelf products in-store and online. Short on time? Order ahead and cruise through the drive-thru for a quick pickup. Stack rewards while you stock up with Club Codes. Earn points for every dollar spent. Codes Dispensary, now open in Steele, Missouri. Supreme cannabis that's worth the drive. Learn more at CodesDispensary.com. That's CodesDispensary.com.
Listen up, Mid-South. Landers Ford in Collierville says make no payments for 90 days. That's right. During Ford Truck Month, your #1 Ford dealer gives you payment relief. New Ford F-150, 0% APR financing for 60 months. 0 down payments. 0 payments for 90 days. Are you listening? New F-150s, 0% APR financing for 60 months. 0 down payments. 0 payments for 90 days. Get started now with our Landers Easy Pass at LandersFordMemphis.com. Shop one of the largest selections of new Fords before they're sold. It's only once a year. Act now. 0% APR, 0 down payment, 0 payments for 90 days. There's 0 to pay to drive today. Landers Ford in Colliersville. If it doesn't say Landers, you paid too much. As reported on
reports 2025 total new vehicle retail sales report, Memphis market, with approved credit from Ford Credit. Minimum monthly payment of $16.67 per 1,000 finance, regardless of down payment. Interest accrues from inception. Example: 2025 Ford F-150 Lariat. VIN number 1FTFW5L8 XSFB 43528. MSRP $71,675. Ford bonus cash $1,000. Sale price $70,675. Based on 0% APR financing for 60 months. Price, tax, title, and $695 processing fee. See dealer for complete details. Offer ends 4/2/26.
I know that hiring can be challenging. You need someone to match your role perfectly. Well, now you can meet them fast on ZipRecruiter.
Build your team, build it sooner. Meet your match on ZipRecruiter.
Just head to ZipRecruiter.com/free right now to try it for free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Meet your match on ZipRecruiter. Try it free.
Sports 56 traffic.
Afternoon, steady flow of traffic pushing south of Memphis as it builds down through DeSoto County right now on 55 down through South Haven as traffic cranks up pretty good on Sam Cooper. Certain sections there are mostly going outbound on Sam Cooper this time of the afternoon, passing Perkins. Hey, bridal season just around the corner. You know where to go. Weimer's Jewelry, located 7525 Highway 64. Shop local this year and save a lot of money. I'm Commander Chuck with your on-time traffic.
Now back to Sports Time on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. This hour is brought to you by Lexus of Memphis. Here are your hosts, Brett Stats Norsworthy and Bryant Dacus.
Welcome back into Sports Time. Bryant and Brett with you, and we got to talk some college hoops. And joining us now, the college basketball analyst from ESPN, Mark Wise. He joins us now. Mark, thanks so much for joining us. It's officially March. Everyone's talking college basketball. It's almost bracket time, so plenty to discuss. But I'm curious, what game do you have this week?
I'm on the bubble because I have Texas A&M at LSU on Saturday, and if Texas A&M does not beat Kentucky tonight, I think that is a must-win for them in terms of not worrying about the SEC tournament. But I got to tell you, first of all, I want to state this right up front before you guys ask me. I cannot explain how UAB is 1-7 at home in the league and 8-0 on the road.
Mark, it was my first question for you. Now it's all out the window.
Oh, all right, Mark. Since we can't ask you that, then explain to us how did this happen to Chris Beard after a Sweet 16, beat North Carolina, beat Iowa State, feels like turning the Titanic around at a tough, hard job, and then have this bottoming out.
Well, again, sometimes you hit in the portal and sometimes you miss, and you got to remember who they were replacing in terms of Brakefield and Morrell, Juju Murray. I mean, these are guys that have been around the block a few times. So it's not the same talented team that they were a year ago, and they got on a bad streak, and they just now got off of it because I've had them twice in the last 2 weeks. As a matter of fact, I was supposed to have them tomorrow night, but that game got moved, and it's not even on the network, on an ESPN network now, other than SEC Plus. So, I keep saying this, and I have to keep reminding people, the difference between being 6th in the country and 26th is one possession. And the difference between being 26th in the country and 66th in the country is one possession.
Yeah.
Boy, it is that narrow. And what you have said, and I came in the next day repeating it. Last night, Mark Wise said this. Bryant can attest to it. I love, and it's so true. Big men, if you're averaging 8 or 9 and you want to average 13 or 14, get to that free throw line and learn how to shoot them and make them.
Yeah, there's no question about that. Chenyalu here for Florida is a great example because he's making free throws at a higher clip. Rashawn Agee at Texas A&M making free throws at a higher clip. So because you're going to get fouled more than most people, and you're going to get more free throw opportunities in theory than other players. So if you want to average in double figures, you need to be around 70% or better at the line.
Yeah, I did love Shaq. Somebody was kind of cracking on him after his career was over and said, only if you'd have been a better free throw shooter. He goes, I still went to the Hall of Fame.
Yes.
That's really good. You talk about Chris Beard and this Ole Miss team and the miss in the portal. Is that what you think is going on with Memphis and Penny Hardaway right now? Obviously, you look up and you're 12-17. You're one of the last spots potentially in the conference tournament. What do you make of what's going on with Penny Hardaway and the Memphis Tigers?
Well, tell me where they are in Kim Palm's production, and that will give you your answer. Mm-hmm. I mean, at this time of the year, there's no hiding the fact of what your numbers say in terms of your production, your offensive rating, your defensive rating. It's like everybody wants to ask me about Kentucky. Kentucky's 5th or 6th in the league, and if you look at I think they're 10-6 entering tonight's game. And if you look at the SEC numbers, conference play only now, because I'm not interested in the non-conference teams you beat by 40 and padded your numbers. But in league play, in most categories, Kentucky is 5th here, 6th here, 7th here, 4th here. I mean, that's who they are. So, I mean, if you've gotten to this point in the season and you evaluate Memphis's numbers, I mean, I think you can kind of self-explain what has kind of gone wrong, because I can't remember a time where Memphis has been 200 and whatever they are in offense. I mean, they just can't score when they need to. And if you play high possession games like Memphis does, then not being able to score is really problematic.
Yeah.
Mark, a few years ago, the world, according to Mark Wise, and I adhere to it, I promise you, I take a lot of things that I hear you say and I repeat them, usually with attribution, but sometimes I slip. But a few years ago, you started on a kind of sermonette about little bitty, smaller point guards, 5'9", kind of little guys, and you are right. You are so right about it. You look at the NBA. There's not a spot for a little guy anymore, and I don't think there are many in college with more people staying. It's a bigger grown man game.
There's no question about that. The smaller guards on teams at the top, and let's just call it the top 20, are few and far between. Can you exist? Is there room for a Tyler Tanner at Vanderbilt, who's had a sensational season? But most of the time, because the players are, because of COVID, because the redo, and because of the transfer portal, and I've said this for a couple of years, our game has never been better. One of the big reasons why our game has never been better is it's never been older. And like in the SEC, and I think this is true in the American also, in the SEC, road teams are winning over 40% of the time.
Wow.
Well, my theory is they're able to do that because you got older players, and they're a little bit more immune to playing on the road.
Yeah. Well, Mark, I don't have the numbers in front of me, but based on what UAB is doing, I think they account for getting the whole conference over 40% with road wins.
Just, well said.
Yeah,
well said.
Mind-blowing. You mentioned Texas A&M. Obviously, they bought into Bucky Ball, brought over Bucky McMillan. What have you made of his first season down in College Station?
Overachieved, no question. Remember, he was one of the coaches that was hired late in the process. So he was, I'll just say it wasn't the freshest vegetables out on the stand by the time he got to the transfer portal, but his ability and their ability to maximize what they have is really kind of impressive. The thing that, everybody wants to talk about the shooting threes, but it's the pressing package, and they'll give you different looks. They press. If they miss a shot and you get the rebound, they press the rebounder. So they're just not going to let you freewheel it out and get up the floor. They have a run and jump package. They have a 1-2-2 deny package. They have a man face guard package. So they're going to they press 100% of the time. So they're going to throw different looks at you. And one of the things that they've been successful at, I think, is when a team has a is point guard dominant, they will run and jump that point guard, get it out of his hands, and just live with what happens on the back end.
Yeah. Mark, other than the Florida Gators, who else from the SEC could make a Elite Eight type run, or maybe a Final Four type run? And I'm going to stay in Florida with the second part of it. You swing at both of them. Other than South Florida, can anybody else in the American make the NCAA tournament?
Let me start with the second one. I don't see that happening. I mean, if they win the tournament, obviously they get in. But I don't see an at-large this year for the American, I don't think. Now, the first part of the question is going to be a little bit more complicated, and I'm going to say it this way. I think Alabama, Arkansas can both. I'm not putting Tennessee in that mix because who knows about Nate Amen, and you guys know how I feel about teams that are damaged goods going into the NCAA tournament. But I think Alabama and Arkansas can both make a run. Now, here's the problem. They're both going to be most likely in the 4-5 line. I think you're better off being a 6 seed than a 4-5, and especially this year. And why do I say that? Because if you're around that 4-5 line, that means you got to play in the second round. That means you got to play Michigan, Duke, Arizona. Now, if you get the UConn, and I'm putting UConn there as of today, only because of the head-to-head with Florida, that 2-point win. But even if you get Florida in the second round, which they can't do by law, the size of Michigan, Duke, Arizona is just overwhelming. Now, of those two, Alabama and Arkansas, where would I put the better case? I think Darius Acuff I think he's going to be player of the year in the league. But I'm going to put that with Alabama because of this, their ability to make threes. The genesis of all great upsets, in my opinion, starts at the three-point line. They could clip off 13 or 14 against anybody, and in an NCAA tournament, that usually means you're going to win.
Mm-hmm, yeah. Talking about Alabama, it feels like the headlines this season have been more dominated by the Charles Bediako situation than the actual games when he was not on the court. What did you make of that whole saga and how it played out a month ago?
I think the right decision was reached. I had their first game after he was ruled ineligible. There's no question that it changes them a little bit from a personnel standpoint. Mm-hmm. I looked at it very hard in terms of the numbers. Second chance points, points in the paint, rebound margin. It was no big difference with him, without him. So I don't think from that standpoint it makes a big difference. He just gives them another body that could score at the rim.
Sure.
If Sherrell goes out of the game or if he's in foul trouble, they have no rim. Now, they have nobody that they can throw it into and score at the rim, really. I mean, they can get to the rim off the bounce, and they have really good players who can do that. Philon would be a player of the year candidate in most years, but Acuff is that dude he's special. So Alabama, again, their style of play, if you haven't seen it, I think that makes it a little bit more difficult. And that's what, the beauty of the NCAA tournament is everything's on a neutral court.
Mark, I know you've got a lot of games left to do this year. You've done a lot of games, but give me one. It could get topped the rest of the year, but give me one game this year that when you took the headset off at the end of the night, you said, "Can you believe I get to do this? This was great." What was that one game?
Well, after I knew I was safe, I had that kind of feeling. I had the Auburn Texas A&M game where the Auburn 3-point shot was waved off after review. It had a crazy ending. People don't know that we had a free throw review right in front of that. It was just a bizarre ending to a game, as bizarre a game as I've ever seen. I had Oklahoma up 19 at home and won by 1. I really have had some strange games this year. So, but that Auburn Texas A&M game, which goes in Texas A&M's favor, and Texas A&M started league play by beating LSU at home, how big does that look now? Because A&M started the SEC season 2-0.
Yeah, no, that is massive. You're right.
I think I watched every second of both of those games, Mark. I really do. The OU game and the game at Auburn. I really do.
Yeah.
Those are two good ones. Those were two really good ones. Well, Mark, as always, thanks so much for joining us. Always a lot of fun, and we've got to do this again soon.
All right, that'd be great. Enjoy the madness.
Thanks, Mark.
You got it.
Right
Be
back
safe.
at you. Mark Wise joining us to talk some college hoops, and he's gotten some good games, some weird games this year for sure.
Florida back to the Final Four, and Mark was the analyst with Mick Huber for every game of the Billy Donovan run, and then he started doing national games. Mick retired, and now being done very well. But if Todd Golden goes back to back, I wonder which back to back is the tougher one, the Donovan in the aughts or this one in the 20s.
Yeah, it's a good question. I definitely think you could, say there were pros and cons to both of them. But I mean, to do this fast would be really something special.
Really
for
would
Todd
be.
Golden.
And he is now working with the news today of Mitch of Mitch Barnhart's retirement at Kentucky.
Yeah,
Scott Strickland, senior AD in the SEC.
It's crazy.
Scott Strickland 1, Greg Byrne 2.
Wow.
Hunter, you're a joke 3, and Keith Carter 4.
Wow, that is wild. But yeah, so I mean, Todd Golden, he's got his team in a really good spot, and two very winnable games coming up to end the regular season against Mississippi State and on the road against Kentucky. So I mean,
Candace Lee at Vandy, 5th now in seniority in athletics.
That is crazy. That is hard to believe, but it's gonna be fun. We mentioned it earlier. A lot of SEC games tonight, so we'll see what this conference looks like tomorrow when we wake up and we're one day closer to the conference tournaments. But we need to get to another break, and when we return, we're going to talk some Grizzlies. They're in action tonight on the road against the Timberwolves. We'll discuss it next on Sports Time.
Join the voice of the Tigers, Dave Woloshin, for Wolo and Friends. Weekday mornings from 10 to 11 here on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
Nestled in the heart of East Memphis, located corner of Park and Cherry, is a beautiful residential neighborhood. I'm here at Town Village Audubon Park interviewing a new resident, Carolyn. Share with us why you chose Town Village.
Well, if your parents or special friends need to make that big move, let me share with you my experience. It was tough for me to leave home, but then I discovered Town Village. I would like to highly recommend Town Village to you and your loved ones. After looking at all the amenities and meeting all the people and staff, I was hooked. From restaurant, bistro, 3 meals per day, housekeeping, transportation, security, health care, physical therapy, exercise room, and even a heated pool and spa. Come see us and make your new home at Town Village.
Visit us and call Daniel at Town Village Audubon Park at 901-374-7342. There's no place like home, Town Village.
Come on and let the good times roll, y'all. Or as we say in Louisiana, laissez le bon temps rouler. The Orleans in the Ville with our made-from-scratch red beans, jambalaya, gumbo, po' boys, and made-fresh daily muffaladas. Right here in Collierville. Eat, drink, and stay for dessert like our homemade bread pudding with warm bourbon sauce. Monday through Friday, meat and 2 with homemade veggies. So good you bring your mom and them. Brunch every Saturday and Sunday. Right here, the Orleans in the Ville, 336 New Byhalia Road. Where great food, live music, and endless fun meet.
Meet Matthew Preston. Inside his apartment, everything he holds dear is protected by Progressive's Renter's Insurance, like his laptop and a surprisingly valuable collection of baseball bobbleheads. Outside his apartment, his laptop is still protected, as are his bobbleheads, which he carries around with him for reasons no one knows. Renters, the limits of protection aren't just the 4 walls of your home. When you're in Progressive's Protection Zone, get a quote at Progressive.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company, affiliates, and third-party insurers.
Hello, sports fans out there. Walker Taylor here with the Germantown and Collierville Commissary. We just celebrated our 43rd year in business, and I would like to thank our fantastic customers and especially our loyal staff. Time has flown by. We now have a second location, Poplar and Houston Levy in Collierville. Catering is a specialty of ours. 50 to 5,000, no job too small, no job too big. Full service or self-service. We also have a party room in Collierville that is great for rehearsal dinners, business meetings, you name it, we'd love to have you. Also, our barbecue party packs start at $8.75 a person. Barbecue, beans, slaw, bun sauce, including serving utensils. Especially great for tailgating with football season coming up. The commissary restaurants also believe in giving back to the community. Possibly you have been approached by somebody selling a barbecue 6-pack coupon for fundraising. Cheerleading groups, church groups, anything to help a worthy cause. Holidays are near. Smoked hams and smoked turkeys will be on the pit before you know it. Come see us at Germantown and Collierville Commissary. Also check us out at commissarybarbecue.com.
If you want to make money in sales, Flynn Broadcasting wants you. If you can sell, Flynn Broadcasting has a great career waiting for you. If you can sell, we have great benefits, salary, commission, sales leads, and a great place to work. If you can sell, let us know today. Send your resume to jobs@flynn.com. Can everyone sell? No. But if you can, Flynn Broadcasting wants you. Apply today at jobs@flynn.com. Start your great career today at jobs@flynn.com. Flynn Broadcasting wants you.
Now back to Sports Time on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. This hour is brought to you by Lexus of Memphis. Here are your hosts, Brett Stats Norsworthy and Bryant Dacus.
The Grizzlies, they're back in action tonight on the road against the Minnesota Timberwolves. A 7 o'clock start for the Grizzlies. Will be the first leg of a back-to-back. They're back home tomorrow night against the Portland Trailblazers. We talked earlier about the status report. 3 guys listed as questionable that were previously listed as out. Santi Aldama, Cedric Coward, and Ty Jerome. Will be very interesting with the back-to-back to see. Usually we know that questionable usually indicates there's a pretty good chance they end up playing. So it'll be interesting to see if all 3 of those guys play, if they split it up, and then what that means for tomorrow night. I would expect whoever plays tonight will not play tomorrow night. But would be fun if you could get any of those 3 guys back on the court tonight.
If you're feeling really frisky and you don't like hard-earned money, Grizzlies plus 550 money line.
Wow, how about that? What is the spread right now?
14.5. Touchdown, 2 extra points and a hook.
Wow, that
say
is,
you get 14.5.
Wow, that is crazy. Yeah, I mean that makes sense. I mean that doesn't surprise me that much. And so
remember when we were comparable with Minnesota?
Oh, absolutely.
Remember when Minnesota was the only team Ja Morant has dispatched in the playoffs?
Oh, yeah. No, I mean, there was
Halcyon days were ahead, weren't they, Brian?
No, they absolutely were. And, I mean, it really felt like you were going to get a really good thing going there with Minnesota.
I thought a parade.
Yeah, well, and yeah. But
I did.
I mean, and
I thought darn sure NBA Finals appearance.
Sure.
Would have bet a lot of money on Western Conference Finals appearance.
Yeah, and it just hasn't gone anywhere
Look
since
at that.
then. Yeah.
It'd been like Tiger Bankroll.
Well, yeah, I guess I guess that is true.
Now, I got a little coin collector.
yeah. You don't have much. You don't have much, and we've got still at least 2 games.
I got to stay alive, and I barely got stay alive money.
You do. That's been my question every big time dollar amount I've seen from you is, oh boy, man, we might get to a point where you're just trying to stay alive. But yeah, I mean, and you just look at where these 2 franchises have gone, where you've got Minnesota, where Anthony Edwards has remained healthy and has become a focal point of the NBA. He has. And on the other side, Ja Morant, with all of these injuries, and just has kind of faded out of that light. And it really is interesting looking at those 2 guards in particular and where they've gone and where those 2 teams have gone. But yeah, Minnesota, they have a fun team. I don't think they have a go for it team, but they certainly could do some damage in the playoffs.
No, and they're going to get to that point where you get aggravated.
Yeah.
You're never the go for it team, but you're in the second round every year.
Yeah, and I mean, you just look at where they're at. They're kind of
That's not fun either.
No.
I'd swap though.
Yo, no doubt about it. But it feels like they're kind of stuck around that 4 spot. Could certainly jump to the 3 with only being a half game behind Houston. But I like Houston a lot more than I like Minnesota right now. So, it's going to be interesting, especially with those 3 teams, Houston, Minnesota, Denver. How do these next couple of months go for them? Because they're all right there neck and neck with each other. And I think, that could fall out in any sort of way being 3, 4, 5 in the West.
We mentioned earlier, kind of in start the show, some maybe potential ugly first round exits in the West with Golden State and the Lakers going out with those proud franchise champions, historic franchises and great fans, and they're not accustomed to coming out, going out early. What about in the East? Who could have the ugliest first round and the summer filled with rancor and innuendo and finger pointing and really bad? Who's the team in the East?
I think it's pretty easy. I think
it's
the team that gets the most noise and creates the most noise. I mean, the Knicks, after going to the Western Conference Finals last year and then the Eastern Conference Finals.
They've had your parade. Your parade route.
They have, and I mean, so much so
they stole it from you.
They sure did, and so much so that they fired their coach last year because the Eastern Conference Finals appearance wasn't good enough. Yeah, and so if they, right now they're in the 3 seed, and that could certainly change. But if they go into the playoffs and it's an early exit, there are going to be a lot of really, really upset people because, as we know, Brett, I mean, when they started acquiring some of those guys on this team, I mean, that was the missing piece for the championship for the Knicks. So definitely that would be the team I would circle in the East. Of an early exit would mean some very frustrated fans and media members.
Oh, it would, and you look at a lot of big time ESPN basketball personalities, not the least of which Stephen A. Smith. They're at those games and then they're on the next morning.
Yeah, no.
Monica McNutt as well.
Yeah,
and they're going to light them up.
That's right. Yeah.
At whatever point they go out.
Oh yeah. I mean, we know that that New York market and those New York teams, they become a big focal point, and especially when you get to the playoffs, I mean, it goes times 10. And if you do not meet those expectations, you don't go on a big run, you're certainly going to get it. And yeah, I mean, I think anything short of certainly another Eastern Conference Finals appearance.
They go out in the first round. Will there be calls for back-to-back years of changing coaches?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I mean, you got to imagine there will be a little bit of that. I don't.
J.J. Redick in peril in Tinseltown?
Yeah, I mean, maybe. I think
go out 4-0.
Yeah, I mean, if it's something really ugly, I wouldn't be surprised. Obviously, when you're with the Lakers, something like that would not go over very well. So I mean, he certainly could be, and there's gonna be a lot of questions about this Lakers team come the end of the season, no matter what happens, because there are a lot of questions, especially with LeBron James, kind of what his future holds and what direction this franchise is going in the future. But we'll see what the Grizzlies can do tonight. Again, on the road, 7 o'clock tip-off tonight against the Minnesota Timberwolves. Let's get to another break, and when we return, start hour number 2. Brent Beard from First Coast News down in Jacksonville. He'll join us, talk college football and college basketball. That comes your way next on Sports Time.
Take your basketball skills to the next level at Shoot 360 Memphis. Shoot 360 is a revolutionary basketball training facility that combines cutting-edge technology with gamification and provides instant, objective feedback with hands-on, one-on-one expert coaching. And now, introducing Shoot 360 Cordova, a newly renovated 50,000 square foot facility with 2 NBA regulation-size courts, 3 high school-size courts, and 4 shooting bays with Shoot 360 technology. Memberships are now on a monthly basis. And yes, you can become a member at both locations. Whether you're an aspiring young talent, NBA player, or looking for a unique workout, all skill levels are welcome at Shoot 360 Memphis to learn proper shooting and passing techniques, improve fundamentals, and gain a competitive edge while having fun. Shoot 360 Memphis, now in Cordova and Collierville. Call them today at 901-779-3176. That's 901-779-3176. The future of basketball training is here. Shoot 360 Memphis.
Men, if you're tired of relying on pills and want lasting, natural performance in the bedroom, Bluff City Health and Wellness offers Apex RF. Backed by clinical research, this discreet 15-minute, non-surgical treatment boosts blood flow, sensitivity, and confidence. No pills, no needles, no side effects. Appointments are filling fast. Call Bluff City Health and Wellness today at 901-800-7606 or take the ED quiz at bchwonline.com. Bluff City Health and Wellness, your confidence in the bedroom naturally.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-575-9871. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS. Generous programs are now available that can give you a fresh start. Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems. We have over 1,000 five-star reviews on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau. You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com or call 800-575-9871. That's 800-575-9871. Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
Listen up, Mid-South. Landers Ford in Collierville says make no payments for 90 days. That's right. During Ford Truck Month, your #1 Ford dealer gives you payment relief. New Ford F-150, 0% APR financing for 60 months. 0 down payments. 0 payments for 90 days. Are you listening? New F-150s, 0% APR financing for 60 months. 0 down payments. 0 payments for 90 days. Get started now with our Landers Easy Pass at LandersFordMemphis.com. Shop one of the largest selections of new Fords before they're sold. It's only once a year. Act now. 0% APR, 0 down payment, 0 payments for 90 days. There's 0 to pay to drive today. Landers Ford in Colliersville. If it doesn't say Landers, you paid too much.
As reported on Board's 2025 Total Vehicle Retail Sales Report, Memphis Market, with approved credit from Ford Credit. Minimum monthly payment of $1,667 per 1,000 finance. Regardless of down payment, interest accrues from inception. Example, 2025 Ford F-150 Lariat. VIN number 1FTFW5LHXSFB43528. MSRP $71,675. Ford bonus cash $1,000. Sale price $70,675. Based on 0% APR financing for 60 months. Price, tax, title, and $695 processing fee. See dealer for complete details. Offer ends 4/2/26.
Listen each and every Sunday morning at 10 a.m. and join Ottawild Presbyterian Church for worship. Ottawild is a PCUSA church located in Midtown Memphis.
Sports 56 traffic.
Good afternoon. Cranking up pretty good right now. Right on schedule at volume of traffic over here eastbound I-40 as you come past Sycamore View Road, headed on out towards Germantown Parkway. Couple of accidents right now in their cleanup stages as traffic gets a little bit heavier just trying to get out of Midtown on 240 South here at South Parkway. St. Jude's Children's Research Hospital is leading the way the world understands, treats, and defeats childhood cancer. If you can help these kids out with cancer, please do. Log on to stjude.org. I'm Commander Chuck with your on-time traffic.
We are Sports 56, WHBQ Memphis, and W253DF Memphis with John Harden. Weekdays from 11 to 1. Now back to Sports Time on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. This hour brought to you by Landers Ford in Collierville. Here once again are Brett Norsworthy and Bryant Dacus.
And she says, I wish that Welcome back into Sports Time. Bryant and Brett with you as we start our second hour on this Tuesday afternoon. We got to talk some college football and a little college basketball. And joining us to do that, like he does every single Tuesday afternoon, it's Brent Beard.
College football talk every Tuesday with Brent Beard, Heisman voter, and on Twitter X at Brent Beard. SEC, ACC, AAC. We talk it all with Brent. Here's Brent Beard with Bryant and Brett.
Brent Beard joins us now from First Coast News down in Jacksonville. Talk college football and college basketball. Brent, thanks so much for joining us. And Brett brought this up earlier to start the show, and I think he's absolutely right. It feels like we're getting to list season way too early, prediction season, a little bit early this year for college football.
Well, it seemed like we've been doing this since, maybe 10 minutes after the national championship game.
It doesn't end. College football season doesn't end.
Oh yeah, no, it really doesn't. And now I distinctly remember, Brian probably won't, but Brett and I do. There was how can we put it, Brett? There was a line of demarcation, or there was an actual. And now this was years ago, and we get this. But I mean, we actually shut the season down until probably from the end of the season. Where I mean, everybody had spring, and they covered that, but there was nowhere near the information and the commentary that we have now. Is it that true? That makes it truly a year-round sport.
Brent, it does, and we know what did it. The marketplace, the interest, people wanting it, people wanting the information. And, you know, I think of someone that we all know and like very well, like Bill King in Nashville. He's gone completely 100%, nothing but college football each and every day. And, I mean, he's sitting in a town with 2 major league sports in it.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. And
he will tell you, I'm sitting in a town with 3 major league sports in it, NHL, NFL, and college football.
Oh, yeah. And when I can, I listen to Bill a lot. He is also on my brother's station, so I get to hear some of that. So you're right about that. I mean, we're in and look, I love it as a fan, and obviously for what we do in sports, but I will say this, I do feel for other sports like college basketball that deserve their time, guys, but oftentimes they're overshadowed by something that happens in football.
And I think college baseball in a lot of places, it really gets cut out. I think even with everything going on in the Middle East, I think they're still going to have the big get-together at the White House later this week on Friday afternoon to talk about – it's called the College Sports Roundtable, and a lot of different names and things on there. Brent, if you were there, what would be one thing you would want to inject and try to make a point of?
Well, to me, the concern here is there are – I mean, when you look at the list of the people who are going to be there, the question is, are you going to be able to really get anything done? I mean, I'm glad they're doing it. I
it
don't
can get really unwieldy because sometimes even the president can go off the teleprompter.
That's what I mean. You've got
it could go a lot of directions.
Yeah, if you've got, and now particularly, guys, if you've got the cameras in there and they're covering what these guys are saying, they may want to have a filibuster, shall we say. But look, I think it's worth it, regardless of where you are politically. I think Trump can get some stuff done, and I give him credit for at least putting this together and just kind of seeing where it's going to go. But, I mean,
because of the economic impact that college football, college sports, but particularly college football, that it has on the country. I know, and you retweeted it. I watched some of Reese Davis, Dan Wetzel, and who was the third person on Pete Thamel on a podcast. And Dan Wetzel made a great point. College sports employs about 1 million people nationwide. Employees of. I mean, the economic impact, you pick your place out. The economic impact on Lincoln, Nebraska, on Columbus,
IO.
Thank you, Brian. I thought I was catching you. The economic impact on College Station, and then you go through these SEC haunts. It matters.
Mm-hmm. Well, it does. I think some of the main issues they're trying to deal with is obviously NIL, trying to rein that in, if that's possible, at some point, or athletes' employees, I think is another thing that they're going to be talking about. And look, I frankly have, in the beginning, I didn't feel real good about getting Washington involved is how I want to put it. But the reality is, guys, if we get Washington involved, could that help us deal with some of this stuff a year or two or three or four quicker than we would if they're not involved with it? That's what I don't know.
Track record ain't great on other things.
No, it's not.
There's a lot of names on who's gonna who's invited. I can't wait to see who actually attends. And everybody's kind of picking at a name or two of what they're doing there. And I'm not going to ask you for one because you're too nice to do it. But I'm going to give one. You know, all the times I'm sitting around thinking, you know, I know this person has all the answers to the problems in college football. Charlie Ward.
Yeah. Well, I will give you some names here. I've wondered that if you put Nick Saban, Mack Brown, and Urban Meyer in a room together, what they would come up with. And look,
Coach Saban sent Meyer out on a stretcher once before.
Well, he did. That's tremendous. Also, look, I don't know her, but I know she, with the power that she used to have, Condoleezza Rice is going to be there.
She's at every meeting. There's no meeting on any subject in the country that she's not a part of the panel.
Yeah, that's very true. Yeah. So, but and look, I mean, this is not going to get done in one meeting, by any stretch of imagination. But if they could short circuit some of the delays with this, because there are some things seriously that we do need to get a handle on sooner than later.
Yeah, and you talk about that. I mean, plenty of issues that need to get worked out. If you are somebody going into this meeting and you say this is the number one issue that we need to figure out while we're meeting, what would that issue be?
I would say it'd be easy to say NIL. Mm-hmm. I would almost say the calendar. In general, you've got to make some sense out of the calendar and who is willing to sacrifice in order to get that done. Because I think if you get your calendar better and straighter, some of this stuff may fall in place where it would be easier to deal with than it is now.
Yeah. Mine would be, and there was a time, call me foolish, that I thought this is what colleges and universities were really about. Mine would be academics. We all know you can't transfer with the propensity these players are doing, and at the end of it, have a legitimate sheepskin.
Well, and listen, more people need to say something about that. I remember reading years ago before this stuff even came up that, look, I'm not the registrar, and I don't understand how all this works, but what I do understand is from reading and talking with people, the more you transfer, the less that's going to be carried with you.
Yeah.
So
we've all experienced it with either us or with friends.
So yeah, absolutely.
Brian, I bet you never stood in line in your life in the registrar's office, did you?
I did not.
Well, Brent, we did, didn't we?
It's not something I had to do. One time I had to stand in line for like 4 minutes to do I forgot some sort of paperwork, and I was about to lose my mind. So yes, I've never.
I stood in it over an hour with it winding outside in a blinding snowstorm in January in Fayetteville.
Yeah.
No, I've never had to do something like that.
You never forget that, do you, Brett?
I was just glad when I finally could squinch up under kind of the overhang. Brent, I'm really getting there. I never dreamed I would ever in my life get to, not opposed to the bowl system, but certainly not an advocate for them like I was at one time. I never thought I'd get there. And this will be the death knell of the bowls if this happens. I'm really warming up to the 2014 playoff.
Wow.
Well, it's funny you said that, and I will admit I have championed the 16 and said no more, but I'm actually getting toward where Brett is with this, because the reality is we've got an impasse right now between the SEC and the Big Ten, and look, those two conferences are going to decide this. Is the thing it amounts to, and I know every now and then we're going to get a 9-3, 8-4, because someone comes on strong at the end. But the more I've thought about this, the more I've realized, well, what if that happens and we're able to, it's not like we're going to 40. You're basically doubling 12 is what you're doing. And frankly, after thinking about it, I thought more we could do it now than I could. So Brett, you've had an influence on me. I will admit that.
It bulldozes championship games, and it bulldozes a lot of really good post 28th of December bowl games.
Yeah, I agree with that. Now, the thing that we've still got to be careful about is I still believe the regular season means something, and it should mean something. My concern is, would that take care of a lot of the regular season, and to take away a lot of the good things out with that we get from that? I still think you could probably balance it somehow, but we all know that. We will obviously be in 12 this coming season, but after that, it's got to. What I wish it would do is, guys, let's expand it and leave it where it is for a while and just see what we can work out through it.
Yeah, no, I'm with you on that. We're talking to Brent Beard. He joins us every Tuesday, talk college football and some college basketball, and it's officially March, so everyone keeping an eye on college basketball, seeing what these conference tournaments will look like, and then ultimately what March Madness will look like. A lot of teams feel like they're starting to take their game to the next level. We've talked a lot about Florida and what they've been doing, but Duke, as of late, it feels like they are taking their game to another level. A big win on the road yesterday at NC State. What have you made of what you've seen over the last couple of weeks from Duke?
I was surprised, frankly. It's easy to say Duke's a one-man band, but with Boozer, but now you really can't say that. I really thought that I'm not going to say Michigan would have taken them to the woodshed, but I really thought that would cause them some issues, but they have really stood up and they have played at this point extremely well. Now, we're an hour and a half from Gainesville, where we live, so you can imagine that that's a real precedent here. But I'll give them credit, and I'm curious what you guys think. My thoughts on the Gator, and I'll be succinct about this. I mean, they're just not taking any prisoners right now, are they, guys?
Yeah.
They're almost making mincemeat out of the conference. I mean, for crying out loud, you know what they did against Arkansas, 111-77, and then to be able to beat who they beat in a row, Alabama, Arkansas, Tennessee, and look, none of them have even been close. I give them tremendous amount of credit. We knew they'd be good with the front court, and the back court would have to catch up at some point, and it looks like that's, to Brett's point, that's what's happened.
And I admire, I really do, flag the tape and don't have a stroke, Brian. I really admired post-game John Calipari. Now, it got heated in the game between Cal and Todd Golden. That's competition. And that's what John said post-game. He said, this is competition. Okay. Yeah. So this, and somebody said, this is the worst you've ever been beaten. He said, I didn't lose this bad my first year at UMass. and was really charming, took it like a man, like you're supposed to, like Patino did. Didn't whine about, getting it run up on him. And now I had a Razorback friend of mine that took exception to it, and I said, look, a young guy like Todd Golden, I mean, he wants a scalp like Cal's. I mean, he wanted to do that, and this friend was making the case it was unnecessary, blah, blah, blah. This was a friend. This was not a coach. This was a friend talking about it. And I said, look, in 1995, opening night as defending national champion, Calipari and UMass beat Nolan by 24.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
John Calipari wanted a piece of Nolan.
Oh yeah, sure. Oh yeah, absolutely, he did. And right now, they're looking like a 6 seed. Now, Georgia Bama played tonight in Georgia. That's going to be a big game. And Georgia's right now an 8 seed. Bama's a 4. Now, what's interesting is, to your point, Brett, Vandy, Arkansas, Tennessee looking like 5 seeds. Now, I will say this: the last 4 or 5 teams in the conference are really struggling at this point, and Auburn's one of those two. Can they get that together? But it's going to be a big week, and an even bigger week next year with the tournament.
Yeah. Do you think all 16 should be at the tournament, City?
Frankly, no.
I don't either.
I really don't. Now that raises a good question. Where do we cut it off, Brett? Do you cut it off at the top 12?
I think you lop all of Wednesday off.
Yeah. Well, that's a point.
Well, that would get into 9 and 10 seeds then. I think your number would be right at 12. Well, that's what it used to be on Thursday,
Yes.
Friday, Saturday, Sunday. So yeah, lop all of Wednesday off.
Oh yeah. I agree with that. Yeah, absolutely. But listen, here's my question, and I know we're running out of time, but you guys have seen this like I have. You never know how this committee is going to deal with the tournament. We have seen years where the tournament made a tremendous difference in this committee, and we've also seen years for the SEC tournament where it was almost like they ignored it. It had nothing to do with it. So that's a wild card that we don't know how they're going to react, do we?
No, we do not at all. It feels like a team that, it feels like they're in a really good spot right now, and it feels like we haven't talked much about them. Missouri right now, 20-9 overall, 10-6 on the season. What have you made of what the Tigers have done this season?
Look, that was going to be the team that I was going to mention that is probably played as well and played themselves in the tournament, frankly, as anybody has. I've been very. I've been very impressed with them. Now look, I'm not sure about Georgia's coaching at times, but I give Georgia credit. I mean, this is the 3rd year in a row where they've had good seasons, and I give credit to Kentucky and what Pope has done, beating 13 top 25 teams in 2 years to go along with that. The Auburn situation is fizzled. I'm not sure they go anywhere after making the coaching change. That has just not worked, frankly. But no, I would agree very much that listen, Missouri could Missouri's a 10 seed right now. 10's going to play 7. I think they could beat 7.
And Dennis Gates last year, he got back in the tournament. But 2 years ago, 0-19, 0-18 in league play, and then lost at the tournament. And now back-to-back years in the tournament. And Bryant, guess who I saw on the front row at Columbia last week? Kind of the same seating area at Mizzou games. And he's been a Mizzou fan all his life, and he could give money to all 365 Division I schools. Bill Laurie on the front row at Mizzou game last week in Mizzou gear.
Oh, wow. How about that?
Well, that's interesting. Now, look, I do think A&M is going to be good. Their lack of height, and I think they need a refill. I just think they've run out of gas at this point. I mean, they were everybody's darling in the beginning. But look, and Brett knows this real well. In this league, whether it's football or basketball, when you first get in it or make a coaching change, there is a change. There is you got to get things together again, and I think that after starting so well, that's kind of where they are right now.
Yeah, definitely feels like it. But Brent, as always, thanks so much for joining us. Enjoy the rest of your week. Enjoy all these games, and we'll do it again next Tuesday.
Can't wait, guys. Take care, okay?
Thank you, Brent. Be safe. Brent Beard with us every week talking college football and college basketball. Yeah, Bill Laurie last week prominently front row at Mizzou, and he's from around there, and I don't know children, or I don't know all the connection, but grew up like him, but of course came down here and made his name some 50 odd years ago, 53 years ago, Final Four one night I ran into him and I told him, I said, Bill Laurie, I said, when I was 10 years old, spring of 73, I said, I wanted to be Bill Laurie. He said, oh, thank you very much. I said, I still want to be Bill Laurie.
Well, yeah, it'd be nice to be Bill Laurie. I think a lot of people would agree with you on that.
365 teams in college basketball, right?
That's right.
He could give $1 million to every team.
That's right.
And still have $6 billion.
That's insane. That is. It's got to be nice. It'd be a great life.
And when you Google the net worth, that doesn't touch it.
No,
because his wife got. I'm going to say at the death of her father, she got about 10 million shares of Walmart.
Oh yeah, yeah. I mean, it's.
If she sold every one of them, think what that would do.
Oh yeah. Oh, yeah. No, it's got to be nice. It's
and
gotta be nice.
I hit the Google machine. I see that they had a $300 million yacht that was spray painted by climate activists.
Oh, I hate that.
I mean, that didn't set them back much.
No, not at all. Not at all.
But yeah, you could see him at Mizzou last week.
How about that? Interesting.
Wonder if he'll be at the Tiger game Thursday night. Last one of the year. Memphis
really
Tigers,
game,
not
yes.
Mizzou Tigers.
Yeah, well, hey, that's his thing. He just loves to go watch Tigers play basketball.
And he loves college basketball. I remember. I think I remember. I don't know if they called it GA at the time, but I think he was like with Coach Bartow for a year,
really?
Maybe wanting to get into coaching. But
well, yeah, other things happen.
had other interests.
That's right. That's right. Understandable.
Family business was really big. Landers Ford's a great business in Collierville, the #1 Ford dealership in the Mid-South. We are proud to have them in our partnership with them as the title sponsor of this second hour. Landers Ford, your trusted destination for a vehicle that fits any lifestyle, any price point. They can take care of you. Seamless shopping experience from vehicle choice to financing and service. From the Ford Escape to the rugged F-150 to the adventurous Bronco, every vehicle built with those Ford tough standards. Ford F-150, America's best-selling truck, and SUVs like the Ford Explorer, the Ford Expedition, Ford Broncos, the Ford Escape. They have EVs, they have the hybrids, and they also, everything what you see is what you get. No fine print, transparency, professionalism, and long-term support, long-term friendship at Landers Ford in Collierville. Oil changes, tires rotated. Go online and schedule when it suits you the best. They'll come get it. They're going to make it work for your very busy schedule. Landers Ford, active in our community in Collierville at 2082 West Poplar Avenue, or online at LandersFordMemphis.com. If it doesn't say Landers, you paid too much.
Well, we need to get to another break. When we return, we're going to have some fun. Everybody talking about Memphis basketball needing to hire a general manager. Well, we're going to become the general managers. We're going to put our GM hats on and try to take a look at this current basketball roster, talk about some of these guys that we would like to see return, maybe some that we would like to show the door. We'll do that next on Sports Time.
Did you miss your favorite Sports 56 show? No! Check out the podcast, broken down hourly at sports56whbq.com or wherever you get your podcasts. Be sure to like and subscribe. Never miss any Sports 56 show again with our podcasts available daily from Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
Looking for sports in all the wrong places? Try the Owner's Box Sports Bar and Grill in Lakeland's Town Square. Fun, exciting, friendly, and comfortable with wall-to-wall TVs. 24 taps for all your beers, including $3 domestic and $5 craft pints on Mondays. Monday through Friday, 3 to 6 happy hour. Music bingo Tuesdays. Daily specials and online ordering. The Owner's Box Sports Bar and Grill in Lakeland's Town Square. Highway 70. Check Facebook for daily specials and weekend music at the Owner's Box.
Nestled in the heart of East Memphis, located corner of Park and Cherry, is a beautiful residential neighborhood. I'm here at Town Village Audubon Park interviewing a new resident, Carolyn. Share with us why you chose Town Village.
Well, if your parents or special friends need to make that big move, let me share with you my experience. It was tough for me to leave home, but then I discovered Town Village. I would like to highly recommend Town Village to you and your loved ones. After looking at all the amenities and meeting all the people and staff, I was hooked. From restaurant, bistro, 3 meals per day, housekeeping, transportation, security, health care, physical therapy, exercise room, and even a heated pool and spa. Come see us and make your new home at Town Village.
Visit us and call Daniel at Town Village Audubon Park at 901-374-7342. There's no place like home, Town Village.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm.
Ask yourself this question. Is it really worth holding on to that timeshare that you know you need to get rid of? Here's the truth. The average maintenance fee just went up over 17%. That could have been 117%, and there's nothing you can do about it. When you buy a timeshare, you give them a blank check for annual maintenance and assessment fees. I'm Chuck McDowell, founder of Wesley Financial Group. For 15 years, I've helped over 50,000 families cancel their timeshare. Not sell it, not transfer it, cancel it. Did you buy a timeshare because they told you it was a great investment and your maintenance fees would never go up? That's a lie. Are you ready to get rid of your timeshare once and for all? Simply call us and I'll send you our timeshare exit kit that explains all your options for cancellation.
Call Wesley now for your timeshare exit kit. 800-939-2525. That's 800-939-2525. 800-939-2525.
It's a new year, and it's the first new sale at Family Leisure. It's the floor model sale happening now. Family Leisure has deep, like diving deep discounts on over 100 display models and in-stock hot tubs, swim spas, even those cold plunges. How deep are these discounts? I'm not allowed to say. So if you've been putting off getting a new spa, then right now is the best time to buy. Here's one price I can let loose. You can get a spa as low as $99 a month. Plus, you can get over $1,000 in upgrades with every spa purchased. One other special deal, you can get an $8,000 spa for only $159 a month. And you know what? Family Leisure is going to throw in some LED lights and waterfalls on most models. Room's got to be made, and so do the deals at Family Leisure, Whitten Road at I-40, where family and fun come together.
With Progressive Snapshot, you could save on auto insurance rates by driving safely, which is nice, because you can just keep doing you. So keep on using that broken phone charger because it occasionally works. Keep quoting something you heard on a podcast as your own. Keep ignoring your sister's texts while you drive and after. And when baggage claim says, have a great trip, keep on saying, you too. And keep driving safely. And you could save with Snapshot from Progressive. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Snapshot not available in California or from all agents. Surcharge possible for unsafe driving.
This traffic report brought to you by City Center Liquor just off Highway 70 in Lakeland. Local, friendly, and always fully stocked. For a 5% discount, tell them Sports 56 sent you.
Sports 56 traffic.
Good afternoon. We got some pretty good delays trying to get out of Collierville, headed towards Memphis. There's a crash on Bill Morris Parkway westbound. They crashed right before Forest Hill Irene Road. Again, it does have traffic slow coming from Collierville towards Memphis as traffic starts to build through the Midtown area here the last few minutes. 240 southbound at South Parkway. Just extra time out here. Lots of radar. Hey, the low-cost drive-through vaccine clinic. It's back Saturday, March 21st at the Humane Society of Memphis Shelby County. Check out their website at memphisHumane.org. I'm Commander Chuck with your on-time traffic.
Now back to Sports Time on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. This hour brought to you by Landers Ford in Collierville. Here once again are Brett Norsworthy and Bryant Dacus.
Welcome back into Sports Time. Bryant and Brett with you, and we got to talk some Tigers. And so much talk around the last couple of weeks have been about Memphis needing to add a general at this current roster. Obviously, we can't evaluate the transfer portal, but we can look at this current roster and take a look at who we think should return, maybe who should be shown the door. So you look at this current roster for the Tigers, 6 guys, at least according to what they are listed on the roster, will be out of eligibility after this season. That means 8 guys will be able to, or will have the opportunity to return next season. So, Brett, just looking at this group, what do you see?
Well, and also you're seeing around college basketball, and John Rothstein had a big kind of sermonette treatise last night about how roster retention, that's the common denominator with these teams that we think now are probably the teams to beat. A lot of the teams I mentioned, way back in my not top story. Now, I differ with him. You might can explain. I know you can. Mm-hmm. They're kind of your team.
Hey, that's right.
I thought Duke lost everything. What did they retain?
They actually brought back some really good pieces, some really good guys that came off the bench last year.
He didn't have to replace all 5 starters?
No, I don't think so, because I think I'll have to go back and look
wrong.
at their actual starting 5 from last year. But I know they brought back some really valuable pieces from last year's team. And so, yeah, I mean, retention is
retention's
huge.
Big.
Retention's massive. I mean,
but don't you want to retain something that's good? I don't want to have retention just to say, well, we got 4 guys coming back.
Sure, but I do think there's something to value, and I think it goes into a different conversation completely about, what does this staff look like? How, everyone's talking about a different staff that needs to be in place. What does that look like going into next year? And because I think there's something big about development. I mean, I think you need to go out there and get guys and then try to develop them and make them learn your system. I went through and looked. Out of the 31 conferences, that the leader right now, all but, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, all but 6 conference leaders right now, out of 31 conferences, and you can add 1 or 2 because there are a couple that are tied that I threw in here, returned 4 or more players from last year's team to the roster, and now they're currently leading the conference that they're in. And then you look at some of those that are less, it's because of new coaches and different things like that. South Florida, a good example, they only brought back 1 player from the actual USF roster last year. 2 came over with Coach Hodgson. So retention, it feels like you look around college basketball, is really, really big. So I do think you need to take that into account when you look at any roster and talk about what you want on the court next year.
All right, bear in mind something, though, as we do this. We're going to go through every player.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to have you say who you want to keep, and then I'll go through what I want to keep. Landon, you jump in whenever you'd like. And we would love people's thoughts on this. Hit us up, 901-360-8255, the Sissy's Log Cabin text and talk line. How many times this year have we said we don't think Penny really likes this team and these players don't like him?
We have said that a handful of times, yeah.
How many times over the last 10 days or 2 weeks we talked about they've quit?
Yeah, no, we have. We've talked about it a lot.
How many times we talked about these players don't know how to win?
We've talked about it a lot.
How many times we talked about these players, a lot of them came from programs that had no winning pedigree.
We have. We've talked about it a ton. Yeah.
Keep that in mind. You go first.
Definitely. I'll just start. Let me roll through who can return and who can't return.
Okay.
So out of eligibility right now, Doug McDaniel, Zach Davis, Mason Matthews, Tariq Ingram, Sincere Parker, Thierno Silla. Those are the 6 guys that I have out of eligibility. So that means the 8 guys that could return next season: Quante Berry, Ashton Hardaway, Arope, Curtis Givens III, Simon Majok, Aaron Bradshaw, William Wharton, and Julius Thedford. Those are the 8 guys with eligibility remaining. Do you want to go one by one through these guys, or do you want to just rattle them off?
You just tell me who you're going to keep.
I would say, I think you start with both Curtis Givens and Julius Thedford. I would absolutely take both of those guys back. I would take Ashton Hardaway back. I would take William Wharton back. Those are probably the guys I start with, and then we can have conversations about the remaining guys. But those are guys that I would start
Berry
with.
would be in the conversation.
Yeah, I would have a conversation with about Quante Berry.
Anybody you've named that would be on the ball as point guard?
No.
So we'd have to get that.
Yeah.
Anybody that would be the identifiable 2 guard?
Yeah, I think
that's kind of the PJ Haggerty spot, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, I think if you bring
many are dreaming of,
definitely,
I'm fine by.
I think if you bring back Curtis and Thedford, I mean, I think those 2 could certainly be in the conversation there. I mean, Curtis certainly could be in the conversation for that lead guard if you wanted to bring in kind of a big name shooting guard and just kind of have more of a facilitator at the point guard. I think that could certainly work. So yeah, I mean, I think those 2 would probably be in conversation for that.
Aaron Bradshaw?
the conversation about it. I mean, what does that price tag look like? What would have to happen to bring him back?
Sure wouldn't want to get in a bidding war.
No, definitely. I think there's a number that you kind of go out there and say, hey, we'll bring you back for this amount. But if it's anything more, I mean, let's be honest. Like, you need a big that's going to rebound. You need a big that can get you some points. And it's been kind of questionable all season if he can give you those two things, and a big that's going to play defense. And I think those three have been questionable all season. I think in conference he's played a lot better, and if he returns, I think that would be fine. But I do think there are other centers that you could find out there that would do just as good of a job, if not better, and probably be cheaper than what Aaron Bradshaw cost you this year.
And on your definitely keep list, who do you think on that list that you can really count on from opening night through tournament time next year? You can count on this guy. Who is it?
I would say Thedford, just because I think he can give you something every night. It's not always going to be the points. It's not going to be double digits every night, but I think he's shown throughout the season when he's been healthy that he can get out there. He can rebound. He can shoot. He can play some defense. A little bit. That would be one that you really work on in the off season with him. He can move the ball around. I think he can do some nice things. To really some things you can rely on from him on any given night.
Right, you remember all those qualifiers, all those things. I said we need to remember about this year's team.
Yeah.
At times it appeared that he didn't like them and they didn't like him, and at times, last few weeks we've talked about them checking out, et cetera, and we've talked about, some of them really couldn't be counted on, and some weren't from winning programs. Yeah. All that said, I remembered all those things. You know what I mean? I keep
how many?
Not one.
Yeah, well,
every one of you hit the door.
I think that's fair.
I can go 12 and 19 without any.
I mean, that's true, and I think that is what is a big possibility if you go out there and let all those guys
let the new GM cook.
But that goes back to our conversation we had with Dave yesterday. I mean, you got to bring in a GM yesterday. I mean, you've got to you should have already had somebody if you want them to really make a big impact this offseason. I mean, if you can get a GM in here fast and then let him go out there and really work in the transfer portal, that would certainly help you. But I would like to bring back some pieces. And I think, the guys I named, I don't think any of them are your star player or even maybe top 2 or 3 next year, but I do think they could be some good pieces to try to lay some sort of foundation with.
Are there players out there with Memphis ties, like Memphis high school ties, that people think they can get back in from other schools?
Yeah, I don't know. I haven't heard if there are names out there. I have to go back and look. Obviously, there are plenty of guys.
Because it's going to take more than P.J. Haggard.
Sure. Yeah. No, it definitely is. And obviously there are guys out there that have played high school basketball or from here that are playing college basketball. I just I don't have that list in front of me, so I have to go look and see what those type of guys look like. But obviously, you brought in a couple last year, and I wouldn't be surprised if you went out and found some more in there. But I think you try to bring back some guys that could be good pieces for you, but certainly are more rotation, not star players, and then you try to go out there in the portal and bring in some guys that can be, that go-to guy. I think back to last year's team where, you only brought back one guy, and that guy you brought back was Nicholas Jourdain. I don't think anybody was going out here saying Nicholas Jourdain was going to be your top 3 or 4 player on the court, but, what he was a great glue guy. He was a great locker room guy. He was a very smart basketball player, and I think really helped that team, really figure out what they were trying to do as a group. So, I'd love to bring back some guys from this roster, but it's just figuring out who that best fit is and who could come back and be a key guy in kind of laying this foundation for next season.
If I'm Ed Scott, I almost go to Penny and tell him we're going to let the GM cook. He's picking the team.
Yeah, and that kind of goes back into it of that relationship. Sure, yeah, of that relationship you have to have and trying to bring in somebody that any head coach, not just Penny Hardaway, but any head coach will listen to and kind of what that relationship would look like between the general manager and the head coach. So you say bring back nobody. Not one. Not
one. And I'm going to say it, and feelings that get hurt, frayed feelings about it, too bad. No Ashton Hardaway. And from here on, the rest of my sports life, for any son of, he must be either the very, 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 very best player on the team or the guy the student section's calling for when you're up 20.
Yeah, well,
no in between, because it never works.
No, it's hard. It is really, really hard. So 8 guys, you say bring back none of them. Who is the closest to returning, and what would somebody on this roster that has eligibility remaining have to do for you to say bring him back next year?
Aaron Bradshaw for a song.
Okay. All right. Well, yeah,
whatever he got this year, Aaron, we want you back next year at half.
Yeah, I think whatever it would be,
we're going to pay you half, and if you overperform, we will pay you for overperformance on March 1.
Yeah, I think whatever Aaron Bradshaw is going to go for, whether it's Memphis or any other team, is going to be substantially less than what it was last year. But that's why I put him in that. You gotta have a conversation about it, because if that price tag is a little too high, I think you can go out and find a center that can do everything that Aaron Bradshaw has done, if not more. So it's gonna be busy, and I know Penny Hardaway has said that he is not looking towards next year. That's a great thing to say in press conferences. If I was a head coach, I would be saying the exact same thing. But you look at some of these reports out there around college basketball, you got to start looking ahead to next year. There are already guys that are going to be in the portal that have already decided where they're going to be playing college basketball. Deals already in place behind the scenes. You certainly do not want to get behind the 8 ball, and it feels like going to be a lot of turnover from this team to next year's team.
I think coaching staff almost the same big broom. Keep Dwight Boyd in an administrative role, and sure don't want to cause hurt feelings with Andre Turner, but maybe not in that same role, and then everybody else you can go along with all the rest of the players.
Yeah, and so that's,
I can go 12-19 without any of you.
Yeah, but I mean, you go 12-19 again, and we know what that will mean. And
Brian, we're going to have we're going to have too many of these discussions. Do you realize what the night in, night out pressure next year is going to be? And playing this rugged, this rigorous non-conference schedule that Coach Hardaway always plays, never ducks. He would play tougher if he could. It would be Duke and Kentucky and Arkansas, and if we could halfway get along with Tennessee, they'd all be on that list too. I mean, he would not dodge anybody. He does take on all the smoke on that non-conference scheduling, because he has to for this by and large slop of a conference that he's in. I know how he's performed in it this year, but that said, every single game next year is going to be, it's going to be Super Bowl going into every one of them. You non-conference using the 13-game model, going to have to win 9. And whenever the Tigers get to that 3rd or 4th loss, here we go, before non-conference runs out, and then in conference, that 14-4, 15-3 math is going to be there again, or here we go, and then the first sign of a tailspin, and if he is clearly beleaguered, Coach Hardaway, wouldn't you say?
I would say.
Clearly weight of the world on him.
Yeah.
And I think some of that is, I think most of it is out of love for the University of Memphis, love for the city, the place that he came from, and he performed so well and earned it, earned every penny he ever made, every dime, every paycheck, every accolade, he earned those. But you can tell he is beaten down by this. Can you imagine him next year with a 7-6 and 9, and you start out 2-2 by January 15th?
Yeah, it's what I've been saying for the last couple of weeks.
And the same lame crowds.
Uglier. Yeah, it could get 10 times worse and 10 times uglier and 10 times messier next year. And with how volatile just replacing everybody on the roster is, and then if you do that with your staff as well, you're walking into opening day not knowing at all what the season is going to look like. You can have faith and trust that you brought the right guys in and you have the right staff, but it's going to be really hard to know what that team will actually be, and so it would be just a ton of It would be a ton of questions around this team next year, but it looks like it's going to be a lot of turnover.
The pressure will break glass next year. It'll be so much.
Yeah, no, it is. I went back. We talked about Duke. I went back and looked. So they did replace all of their starting five, but brought back some key pieces from the bench last year, some younger guys, even some veteran guys that played a role that are now in a starting caliber position.
But the big piece was not retention. The big piece was Carlos Boozer.
No, but I mean, you talk about any team. I mean, having guys back, and especially under John Shire with who he is as a recruiter, as a coach, to bring guys back. I mean, you look at Caleb Foster, Isaiah Evans, Ngamba, who has been massive this year. I mean, those three guys have been, unbelievable this season, have been in starting roles. So yes, it has been the big guy that's going to hear his name called in the top three. But those returning pieces have played a really big role as well. And you look around the country, it is a lot of teams that are having success by bringing back guys from previous seasons and developing those guys and then kind of building around them. So we'll see what happens with this group with Penny Hardaway. Obviously, a lot of guys that can return. We'll see who does and who doesn't. But we need to get to another break, and when we return, it'll be time for Big Number of the Day.
Not only can you listen to your favorite shows on Sports 56, you can also watch video of the shows live on Twitter and YouTube. Watch and listen every day at Sports 56 WHBQ.
It's takeover time, and you'll know when. This is Sheldon Rosengarten with Marks Bensdorf Realtors, and the takeover time I mentioned is when your house has been on the market for so long and you want somebody to come in, take over, properly market it, and get it sold. People often say when you want the job done, call Sheldon, because I have a highly successful strategic marketing program that can mean the difference in what you make and when. It involves preparation before you go on the market, along with proper presentation and accurate pricing based on our ever-changing market and rates, and being made aware of what's going on around you so you can make intelligent decisions, not merely guessing. Call me at 483-0546 or memphisrelocate.com and let me take your listing over and get it sold. I may be lousy at golf, but I sure do sell some homes. Call me, Sheldon Rosengarten, 483-0546 or memphisrelocate.com.
Do you know one of the best things you can do for your employees or family's health? Provide Arctic Clear bottled water. Arctic Clear bottled water is your locally owned and operated bottled water provider. Arctic Clear is 100% natural spring water with free delivery and setup, dependable service, and no long-term contracts. What an easy choice. Call Jeff Manus today, 901-382-2363, or visit arctic-clear.com. Arctic Clear bottled water. Call now, 382-2363. That's 382-2363.
I know that hiring can be challenging. You need someone to match your role perfectly. Well, now you can meet them fast on ZipRecruiter.
Build your team, build it sooner. Meet your match on ZipRecruiter.
Just head to ZipRecruiter.com/free right now to try it for free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Meet your match on ZipRecruiter. Try it free.
I have so many people tell me they hear my ads on this station and that they want to know if I'm really as bad a golfer as everyone says. This is Sheldon Rosengarten with Marks Bensdorf Realtors, and yes, I hate to say I am. I wish I were in my 90s because I could then tell people I shoot my age. But being a bad golfer is not terrible because I devote so much of my time to selling homes to keep my clients happy. Over the many years in the real estate business, I developed a highly successful strategic marketing program, not merely a listing program. Using preparation, presentation, and proper pricing, it works. If you're thinking of selling, talk to 2 to 3 real estate brokers and make sure that I am one of them. Find out why people often say that when you want the job done, call Sheldon. That's Sheldon Rosengarten, 483-0546 or memphisrelocate.com. Do it now. Sheldon, 483-0546 or memphisrelocate.com.
The best I-dos start with Sissy's Blue. Discover bridal jewelry worthy of your big day at Sissy's Log Cabin, along with our spectacular experience that comes with our promise of exceptional quality, service, and brilliant natural diamonds. Experience our expansive selection when you stop by any of our 7 locations or shop online at sissyslogcabin.com. Find your perfect engagement ring only at Sissy's Log Cabin, because life's too short for ordinary jewelry.
Now back to Sports Time on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. This hour brought to you by Landers Ford in Collierville. Here once again are Brett Norsworthy and Bryant Dacus.
When you hear
Big Daddy.
Hello, Big Brand.
It's a guy, he wants to be big, then he gets big, he doesn't want to be big anymore, then he gets small, but the suit's too big.
Big Daddy.
The big boy. What up, big guy? I think she's trying to pull a fast one on Big Daddy.
The big number of the day.
Well, Brett, I think we should switch it up today and have you go first.
And my theme is a little bit like yesterday's. Yesterday's I did the Tigers' losses, which was 17 going into the next to last game. Well, today my big number is 12. That's the Tiger number of wins for this year. That's the fewest since only winning 13 in 98 and 99. That was the end of Dick Price and Johnny Jones having to finish out the – no, that may be all Tick, and Johnny finished out the next year. Anyway, 13 in 98, 99. But the last time with 12 or less, you guessed it, old Moiba only won 6 in 69 and 69-70, and that was with a great roster. Joe Proctor, James Douglas, Don Holcomb, Fred Horton. Gene Bartow came in the next year and added two of the biggest names in Memphis. In Memphis history. In Memphis history, not just Memphis sports. In Memphis history, adding Larry Finch and Ronnie Robinson, they won 18 games.
Yeah. We've brought up Mo Iba too many times.
A lot of Mo talk, isn't it?
Over the last 2 days. I don't like how much we've been saying that name. But I will also bring up a college basketball big number, and it has to do, Brett, my Dukies. I mean, I just love John Shire and this Duke team. John Shire, what a job he's doing with this Duke team. I mean, again, replacing all 5 starters, and look where they're at right now, Brett. Number 1 in the country. I mean, I got the feeling, Brett, this is the year they cut down the nets with this group they have right here in front of them. But
well, he's due.
Well, you got to be. He's got to be, and I think he gets it done. And I'll tell you right now, if Duke wins the championship this year, I'll buy one of the shirts they sell afterwards of national 2026 national champion, just for you, Brett. I will.
A few years ago, they were whining that Tennessee was too rough on them.
That's true. Yes, that was
2 years ago.
That was ages ago, Brett. I mean, it's
2 years.
It's
ago.
a new ages. I mean, it's a new Duke team right here. I mean, these guys, they've
Those
got
big
it.
brutes from East Tennessee were too rough on them.
Yes, no, you're right about that. My big number today, though, is the number 2, and that is 2 former Duke Blue Devils, Con Knippel and Cooper Flagg. They are playing great this season. I mean, it is better than as advertised.
Better.
I would say,
That's
especially with Con Knippel and what he is doing this season. Con Knippel, he's at 1,156 points. Cooper Flagg at 999. They lead all NBA rookies in scoring this season after being teammates at Duke last year. The only college to produce the top 2 leading rookie scorers for a single NBA season all time was UConn. The only other one, UConn, in the 2004-2005 season.
Let me guess.
Please.
Okafor?
Uh-huh.
Oh, who was the other one?
You got it. You guys right there, Brett. You got it.
Oh, it's not Mo Brain's not clicking. Who?
Ben Gordon.
Oh, yeah, that was the easy one. I got the hard one.
I'm telling you, it was right there. It was right there in front of you. So, yeah.
Swing and a miss.
No, I mean, you got Okafor.
That
was good. I mean, that's like that's one of those one of those infield hits that results in an RBI, right? I mean, hey, we scored the run.
Single.
That's right. Yes, a CNI single. But what those two guys are doing, and it's on a nightly basis. I mean, they are producing and doing a great job. Now, Cooper Flagg has been injured, so that's been unfortunate.
Colossal choke down the stretch in that semifinal game.
It was. I will, as much of a Dookie as I am, I will admit that was bad. That was bad at the end of last year.
Might make Shira and the rest of the staff better.
It could have. It definitely could have.
flagging
sure
and Knipple in all year there, but, it could help in the long run.
Yeah, it could help that staff. Obviously, we talked in the last segment about some of the guys they brought back, so that could be one where they look up in about a month or so and say, hey, what happened last year really helped us for this year. But we need to get to another break, and when we return, switching gears, talking the NFL, Bo Marchant, he joins us next.
Your home is your best investment, so why not make it the best it can be with help from Gates Lumber? Start with your front door, serving two purposes, curb appeal and security. Gates has solid construction doors built for security, durability, and beauty. See and compare wood, steel, and fiberglass options side by side at Gates Showroom. It's easier to choose when you can see and touch real doors with real assistance from knowledgeable staff helping you choose the right door for your home and budget. So don't just replace your door, upgrade your protection, and Gates Lumber is the right choice. Family owned and operated, serving you for over 100 years with free estimates, free delivery, competitive prices, and quality products. Call 901-942-3201, go to gateslumber.com, or come by their showroom, 1253 South Bellevue Boulevard. Gates Lumber, celebrating over 100 years with a passion for craftsmanship since 1920.
When you're vacationing in your RV, there are some things you can always count on. Taking the kayaks out on the lake, hot dogs on the grill, and your sister's boyfriend pulling out his acoustic guitar.
Everyone quiet! Harrison's playing. Wow, you're so good, Harrison.
With Progressive, your RV is protected 24/7, so you're prepared for whatever you don't see coming. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates, not available in D.C.
Guns, guns, and more guns. Over 700 firearms in stock. Home defense guns, old guns, new guns, used guns, big guns, little guns. Every gun you can think of, Classic Arms has them. All brands like Glock, Sig, Colt, Ruger, Smith & Wesson, Browning, Beretta, Benelli, Remington, Winchester, and more. Guaranteed lowest prices in town. Only gun importer in the Mid-South. Free gun inspections and appraisals, and free bore sighting for the upcoming deer season. Shop online at ClassicArmsOfMemphis.com or visit Classic Arms at 1740 Germantown Parkway behind Corky's Barbecue in Cordova.
Since 1948, in the alley, the Rendezvous. I'm with John Burgos. John, what's going on in the Rendezvous?
Brett, after 76 years, we've decided to expand our product line. Anyone who's tasted our ribs is familiar with our vinegar base. It's now available in a 32-ounce jar. It's so good to base or marinate all meats. I even put a little bit on turnip greens. Something we've been using at the restaurant or at our house has been the Greek seasoning. My father was a cook, but my mother was a chef, and she was the one that put Greek seasoning on everything from a Mediterranean diet or a steak. My mom used it on soup, salad, veggies, fish, any meats. It's a great seasoning and a flavor enhancer. My brother Nick figured out salt and pepper was more than just McCormick's and Morton's. He's come up with a perfect blend we use to coat our shoulders and our brisket, and he used to make it for his friends as Christmas gifts, and they loved it. All these products are available at the Rendezvous or online for shipping as gifts and in many grocery stores. And if they're not in your favorite grocery store, ask your grocer to stock it.
A beloved family affair and still going strong since 1948, the Rendezvous.
Hi, this is Troy Five-Ash, owner of Five-Ash Roof Services. I wanted to take a minute and discuss advertising with you. There are so many websites that list the best service provider in your area. Even the BBB has an accredited list. You know the one thing they all have in common? A company like mine has to pay to get on that list. So that begs the question, can those lists be trusted? You know what can be trusted? History. We've been around for almost 30 years providing customers with the best service and the best products that we possibly can. So if you need a roof, siding, or gutters, give us a call. We'll come talk to you and let you decide for yourself whether or not we know what we're talking about. Five-Ash Roof Services. Best products, best warranties, and in many cases, the best price. We're fair, honest, and ethical. 367-0050 or MemphisRoofer.com. 367-0050 or MemphisRoofer.com.
Five-Ash Roofing, it's what we do. We're here for you.
This traffic report is brought to you by Millington Weight Loss. For more information, call 901-436-0272.
Sports 56
Traffic cranking up pretty good right now out here in a couple of spots. As you travel 40 east over here between Warford and Hollywood, it's building even more so already on 385 Billmore's Parkway. Right when you come off 240, headed outbound on Billmore's out towards the Collierville area. St. Jude's Children's Research Hospital is leading the way the world understands, treats, and defeats childhood cancer. If you can help these kids with cancer, please do. Log on to stjude.org. I'm Commander Chuck with your on-time traffic.
Broadcasting from the Family Leisure Studios, we are Sports 56, WHBQ Memphis, and W253DF Memphis. Now, back to Sports Time on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. This hour brought to you by Jaguar Land Rover Bluff City. Here once again are Brett Norsworthy and Bryant Dacus.
Welcome back into Sports Time. Bryant and Brett with you. Brett, I just looked over. We've got Team USA in an exhibition. I don't know what's going on. We're in the top of the 10th inning. United States up 15-1. I didn't know that could happen. It's very interesting to have that 15.
Who are they playing?
The Giants. They're playing the Giants in an exhibition, and it's 15-1, and they're still playing in the 10th inning. So
I'm on MLB Network, and it was another exhibition game on.
I don't know who. I think Dominican Republic may be on MLB Network. This one's on ESPN.
Manager of the DR?
It's Pujols, right?
It's Albert Pujols.
Yeah, how about that? But yeah, USA on ESPN.
My favorite Cardinal ever.
Yeah. So that'll be fun to watch him in the WBC over the next couple of weeks. But we got to talk the NFL right now, and we do it at this time every single Tuesday afternoon with Bo Marchant.
National Football League talk every Tuesday with Bo Marchant, covering the NFL Draft at collegetopro.com and the NFL Draft Bible, covering the Steelers for Sports Illustrated, living and running in Eastern Ohio, and on Twitter X at Bo Marchant. Here's Bo with Bryant and Brett.
Bo Marchant joins us now to talk the NFL. He was in Indianapolis last week for the NFL Scouting Combine. Bo, thanks so much for joining us. What'd you make of what you saw last week from all the guys out there at the Combine?
It is truly one of my favorite weeks of the NFL calendar, seeing all these bright, bushy-eyed young men, making their way through Indianapolis, and basically the head coaches are there, GMs. So it's a plethora, if you will, of just players and coaches, and then on the offside, being able to talk with agents and see coaches out and about. It is a wonderful time to gather information and kind of get to know some of these guys that are going to make their path towards the next level. So fantastic week as always in Indy.
Who was the staff you were most impressed with?
Staff-wise, you know what? Well, Neil Stratton from Inside the League, he has a thing every Wednesday at the Combine, and he started addressing scouts receiving awards, and the scouts vote on themselves. So it's their peers voting on them. It's not us. It's not anybody else. I think the Saints got the best draft of last season, and then Jeff Ireland took the podium, and then he asked several scouts, three other guys from the Saints thing, and and it's just fun to watch these guys. They've paid their dues and whatnot. So I think the way that they handle it, I know that's maybe not combine stage, but I thought that was thing. And then Chris Ballard, I love Ballard. He's and I'm trying to think of some other guys. DaCosta's always good. I mean, DaCosta went way over his limit. I mean, which nobody was complaining about. Some guys can't wait to get off the stage, but he was up there for a good at least 25, 30 minutes. So, Ravens, and then the way the Saints, I think, conducted their business and whatnot. So, but I think most of those guys are great. I mean, we had a couple opportunities with Omar. We had a private local thing, and then we had Omar at the podium, and then we also had a luncheon with Mike McCarthy, off the record stuff, but none of that was a wonderful way just to get introduced, on a personal level with the Steelers' new coach. So it was a great weekend.
do you feel like he's going to be more accessible than Mike Tomlin, or about the same or less?
I think he's more approachable. It seems like he seems definitely good. I think it's going to be a, I don't want to talk ill of Mike Tomlin because he was great, but I just think there was such an aura around Mike Tomlin. We call them the Tomlinisms, where the collective is the collective, and we appreciate the collective being collective. I think you'll get more, some more answers. I think, but no, just a little bit more down to earth. And I hope that's the way it goes. But no,
I know both of y'all. I know both of y'all probably saw this last week, and it was really well done by the Kentucky men's basketball coach Mark Pope, and a young lady in the crowd asked him, Bryant, or in a gathering asked him, what would you tell to journalism majors and to people wanting to get into this business, kind of how to do it better? And I learned that Mark Pope's wife was a journalism major, so he's very attuned to it. His answer was great on how to do it and not just be clickbaity and hot takey. I also would like to, but I'd also like to say back to him and to his industry, you got to give us something too, because if you don't, we're gonna fill the void. We're gonna fill in the blanks, and that may get hot takey or clickbaity.
Yeah, people want to, the media is kind of always guilty of something, but, it's, when you go there and, you cover a team every day, and I know they get tired of seeing us and they get, tired of most of the same questions, but when news does come, we have to ask those questions. They have to be asked, and they don't want to be asked. It's kind of, it's always like, it's all glory, 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 glory. If something bad happens, I'm going to walk out and I'm not going to talk to anybody, so. But I get it, but I do really, a guy like Cam Hayward, they could lose by 50 and he's going to be there answering every question. They could win by 50 and he's going to have the same demeanor. So, I do take value, and I think everybody does, just in the character of those guys. When they're at their worst, they still act, in the character of a champion.
And I've told this story before, and it's why I don't hate him. I don't detest him. He was always great to me. Heartbreaking. I mean, soul-crushing. Ole Miss loss last year, 2024, down at LSU in overtime, and they bring him over to me, and I said, Coach, you don't want to do this. He goes, no, you talk when you win, you talk when you lose. Let's roll.
Yeah. And that's it. Yeah, I think that, that's the fun part about sports is, sometimes the losing locker room is the most intriguing locker room. One thing, when Bill Belichick was coaching the Patriots, I would always try to find his post-game press conferences, especially when they were at their peak, because their losing was so rare. I did it with Nick Saban, too, because Alabama's losses were so rare that I wanted to get their interpretation of why they lost the game. And they were always so brilliant, Brett, you would remember this before me, but what was the game Alabama lost to Auburn on the final kick of the game or something?
2013, the kick six play,
yeah, the kick six play, and Saban said he knew, he was prepared for that. That's he was ready. Their minds are just light years ahead of everything else that's going on in the game, and they have everything covered, and that's what I think is fun, where they know it's happening, but sometimes you just can't protect it or solve it or refuse the other team from allowing them to have success.
Even better on that play that year, every Thursday practice from that hash mark, 57 yards, and that's why Bama was so adamant on put time back on the clock, because if it had been 58, they're going to overtime, but they wanted to know exactly where's the ball going to be spotted, and what hash. They would close Thursday practice every Thursday mimicking that play, and he made the kick every time. And this one comes up short, and the most famous play in college football history develops.
So that speaks volumes to how prepared they are, but sometimes preparation doesn't even win you the game. So
with a horrible effort by the punter to try to track him down, the only athlete left on the field, and he didn't lay out at all.
do better.
Well, yeah, punters, I mean, you could probably make a highlight reel of their attempts to, Some do make some good attempts, but most of the time it's
let's try some attempt.
Yeah. Just do a little bit of something. Bo, I read some things. I heard some people talk about this year at the Combine. Obviously, you have been to many Combines, so I'm curious your thoughts on it. But hearing that less attendance by coaching staffs, or at least less of them being there for the full Combine because of how much technology-driven things are now. You can do all these interviews virtually. You can watch all the tape you ever want. You can get these results instantly wherever you're at. Did you notice that of maybe less in person, or at least less in person over the span of the week?
Yeah, I mean, I know Cohen and the GM for the Jaguars were not in attendance, and I think the Rams have done that in some other years under the McVay regime. So, like Omar his eyes lit up when he talked about the opportunity to actually meet these guys one-on-one. And, it was a topic that we discussed amongst ourselves as well, too, is, you would think, it's 1 week. What are you doing in Jacksonville that's so important that you can't come to Indianapolis for a week? Your whole staff's basically up here. And I still think watching a young man walk in the room, I remember having a conversation with one coach, and I had lunch with him, a coordinator at the time, and he told me when Anthony Richardson walked in the room, there was just an aura about him. You saw that physical presence, the way he conducted himself, and, I think a lot of teams, saw that and were intrigued by it. So I think that opportunity to, sit down, shake a man's hand, get to know him, I think there's a lot of body language and nervousness, things you just can't see on, a Zoom call compared to, how they conduct themselves. And I think just watching them walk around, their mannerisms, what are they doing when they're not in between drills? Are they paying attention? Are they on the phones? All those little things. And there might be things that, that you pick up on and, it helps you in the evaluation process. Because it's, this is a job interview. And we know they do the drills and the position drills, but, there's the medical checks, and then they put you on the board if they want. They ask you some personal questions that you might not be comfortable with, and that's part of the process. But I would think if I was in that position, I would ask for more meetings. I would want more private visits. I'd want almost every prospect coming through my building. Why not? I don't think I don't think you can have enough information. And as much information as they all gather, we still know there's terrible selections that are made through all the processes. These guys can, fake their way through of thinking they got good character or this or that, and we'll see first round busts, guys that never even pan out, to make an impact. So, it's not an exact science, and I say it all the time. That's what makes it so beautiful.
Mm-hmm. Here's your top 10 at collegetopro.com. Fernando Mendoza 1 to the Raiders. David Bailey, the edge rusher from Texas Tech, and I don't know how I didn't appreciate and watch him more last year. 2 to the Jets, 3 to the Cardinals off the edge from Ohio State, Arvell Reese. Number 4 to the Titans, Mansour Delane from LSU, 6', 187. 5 to the Giants, back-to-back years with big bruising running backs. Line up Scadaboo and Love, and it'll look like 1958 New York Giants. Number 6, Francis Mauigoa from the U to the Cleveland Browns. I saw him. Number 7, I saw him as well in person. Ruben Bain, I don't care how long his arms are. Number 8 to the Saints, Sonny Styles from Ohio State. 9 to the Chiefs, Spencer Fano from Utah. And 10, Caleb Downs from Ohio State to Cincinnati. And I texted you earlier, just respectfully disagree. I would take Downs at 4 if I'm the Titans over the LSU defensive back, Delane.
Yeah, I can't argue that. I think they're both uniquely talented in their own different ways, and I think it's just a perspective of, do you want more of a Brian Branch type, I think, in Caleb Downs? Is that where Robert Saleh wants to go? Does he want that type of individual? Or does he want, he had Sauce Gardner while he was in New York, so does he want to kind of duplicate having a guy like Sauce, in that secondary? But I think, those 2 guys in particular I'm really excited about. And even with Caleb Downs, I didn't have any receivers going in the top 10, and I put at the end of the article, if I take Caleb, Downs off, or I take Mansour Delane off, then, Carnell Tate or just say Mekhi Lemon are there. Now you're saying, well, how aren't, Delane or Downs in the top 10, or same in the tackles. And it's, I think, a little bit of team need and whatnot. But it's, it's an educated guess, and, you try to do your best at maybe trying to evaluate where these guys might go and some team needs. But yeah, as you know, the draft will begin, and the first couple come off the board, and there's always some chaos here and there. I mean, Jamar Gibbs going to the Lions was a shock. That Jordan Love to the Packers that year. There's always those picks that come about. I mean, Michael Penix. Did anybody see that coming from the Falcons after they gave Kirk Cousins $100 trillion? So, there's going to be those same type selections where we're just wow, and we always know that a guy will slip, a guy will fall, and those are what the teams know. The teams know the secret sauce. We don't get that privileged information that these guys know. So expect some of these guys that that are you see in the first round all the time. One or two may slip, and then as always, you're going to have that wild card pick where you just wonder, like, wow, this guy was projected between 45 and 50, and now he's going at 22. So it's the beauty of the draft. You think but you don't. But I like this. I like this grouping of guys. I don't think anybody's it's not a weak draft, but I don't think there's anyone. There's not a Myles Garrett. There's not an Andrew Luck. There's not a Patrick Peterson. These guys that they're predestined to be greatness before they've even set on the foot. I think everybody feels that these guys are all really great athletes, and they're going to be able to contribute. But I don't think we look at this particular draft yet like it's a lightning rod of extreme talent like Justin Jefferson and Jamar Chase's. I don't think it exists yet.
You don't think the Giants are going to line up in the I formation, do you, with Scadaboo and Love?
Scadaboo, he's such a physical guy. I don't know if he's going to be. I mean, he already got hurt, and it was sad. But I mean, he is just a body-breaking individual. I mean, the way his style fits jersey, it's perfect. I love watching him play. But then again, I mean, it's a Jeremiah Love. When you add him with the Jackson Dart and Malik Neighbors, you're talking almost a trifecta of a little set of triplets like the Cowboys had back in the day. And I'm not comparing them to these Hall of Fame guys that Dallas had, and Irvin, Aikman, and Emmett. But you got like to kind of think that truly Jeremiah Love is extremely rare. And you're talking what he was able to do collegiately, and if you bring him aboard. And then when you
in New York, let's just try being Eli Jacobs and Toomer.
Yeah, think about it. I mean, think about it. If you get Jeremiah Love and he pans out, and he becomes this Bijan Robinson, Jamar Gibbs type individual where he's elite. So you give him a rest, and then you bring in this little power back, this little bolt of pure energy, and Cam Scadabo, and let him hammer your defense for a while, and then you go up top to. Hopefully, a healthy Malik Neighbors, and and the Giants, get back on track their winning ways. So, but it's all we talk. I think Landon asked me last week. We were talking. It was possible the Titans go with Jeremiah Love. I think the way that he performed, you got to say that he's a top 5 prospect. I think so. I think it's not only so much as your running back, but if you're looking at your board. And what's on it, you're kind of like, okay, this just hypothetically, hey, this is the 3rd best player on the board, and he's available at 4. He's available at 5. He's available at 6. And we know it's position based, and if you already have, Bijan Robinson, you're not going to take Jeremiah Love, but nonetheless, these teams, that are in that top 10, I know there are, the Chiefs, the Saints. I still think the Giants, even the Cardinals, the Titans. So I think he's anywhere. I think I even thought number 2 to the Jets until they franchised Breece Hall today. So, I put it this way. I just think that highly of Jeremiah Love that I think he's capable of going at least as high as 3 now. And I don't think he makes it past, I don't think he would make it past 9.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Kind of getting away from the combine a little bit, what did you make of the news today? Kyler Murray, barring any last-minute trade, will be released by Arizona next week.
Yeah, I thought. I think it's exciting. Chris Ballard done something brilliant at the podium last week, and he was talking about Sam Darnold and the Baker Mayfields and the Daniel Joneses, and he said it's such a short shelf life for these guys. He goes, they get 1 year to prove themselves, and if they haven't done it, and I'm quote-unquote basically by year 2, you ship them off. And I think that's why we've kind of seen a resurgence in these guys. And we know Arizona isn't exactly the, factory of, wonderful quarterbacking. So, maybe a fresh start for Kyler Murray, is possible. And you look at all the teams out there that could use, an upgrade at quarterback. So I'm excited to see where he goes. I mean, you think, who knows what's going to go on with Tua? So you got Miami, you got New York. I think you look at the, then you look at the. I can't think. I cannot believe I can't think of it. I'm having cough. Then I think you look at Atlanta too with Stefanski. Yeah. I don't think they're sold on Penix. So I think Kyler Murray and Stefanski would be a possible connection. You got Minnesota. How much do they believe in J.J. McCarthy? Does O'Donnell believe he can, change the forces of this guy, or does Murray take a quiet year and maybe sits back behind a Matthew Stafford, knowing that he probably maybe has 1 year left, and who knows, but sits there and I don't think that would be the case, but I do think there's a lot of opportunity for him out there. It seems like Pittsburgh's in the market. They're going to bring back Aaron Rodgers, but I would even throw Kyler Murray to Pittsburgh because they need a quarterback, and if Rodgers would not come back, although I think he is. I know they don't want to roll with Mason Rudolph and an unproven Will Howard in 2026.
Yeah, well, it's definitely a lot of questions out there around the NFL. But Bo, as always, thanks so much for joining us, and we'll do it again next Tuesday.
Yep, have a great week, gentlemen. It's coming. The fun time's coming, guys.
It really is. It really is. Thank you, Bo.
Thanks, Bo.
Yes, sir.
You got
Bo Marchant joining us to talk the NFL, and I mean, we could have gone through. We could have had him join us at 3 o'clock, and we could continue to go until 6 o'clock, and probably still wouldn't get through all the news that has happened over the last week with the combine, and then everything with free agency and franchise tags and waiving and everything. I mean, it is a very busy time around the NFL.
Where do you think Taylor Grain will get drafted? Around what round?
I think he'll probably be somewhere around that kind of third, fourth, fifth round type of guy. Somewhere kind of in the middle. At the best, late third. I would say so, yeah.
At the worst, early 5.
Yeah, it seems like that kind of feels like the sweet spot for him somewhere within those 3 rounds. He makes a team. Yeah, I think he definitely will, especially what he showed last week at the Combine. He could be one of those where you just kind of scoop him up to just see, hey, maybe this guy can help us in one of those later rounds, and then he could definitely play his way onto an active roster next year. But that quarterback position, there's certainly going to be a lot of questions with a lot of teams of what it looks like, not just for next year, but really going into the future and long term, what it looks like at that position. But we're going to get to a break here in a minute. Before we do that, I'm going to remind you about our 5 o'clock sponsor. It's Jaguar Land Rover Bluff City. Jaguar Bluff City has been the premier Jaguar dealership for the greater Memphis area since 1984, and their talented teams ready to help you find your next perfect vehicle at unbeatable rates. Swing by Jaguar Land Rover Bluff City today and check out those brand new models like the Range Rover Sport, the Range Rover Velar, and the Defender. Test drive the Range Rover Sport, where luxury meets performance. It's a perfect mix of style, performance, and versatility, with options ranging from 360 horsepower up to 635. It's also available as a plug-in hybrid electric vehicle with $7,500 federal tax credit when leased with approved credit. Take a look at the Range Rover Velar, powered by mild hybrid technology and enhanced with the latest well-being features and fully connected entertainment system. The Range Rover Velar is the ultimate luxury compact crossover. Purchase yours today and get special 4.4% for 72 months financing available with approved credit. Don't forget about the Defender, available in multiple models to fit your needs. The Defender is built for the modern explorer, and Jaguar Bluff City is offering special interest rates for 60 and 72 months on various models. Give them a call, 877-259-6169. Go online to JaguarBluffCity.com, but head out there, test drive these vehicles. 6335 Wheel Cove, just off of Quince, for Bluff City Jaguar. Well, we need to get to another break, and when we return, we'll talk about what's trending.
Start your day with Sports 56 Mornings with Greg Gaston and Eli Savoy. Weekday mornings from 7 to 10, right here on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
This is Julie Molay-Mary, and I'm with Mark Spensdorf Realtors. I wanted to dispel any rumors about Sheldon Rosengarten, also with Mark Spensdorf Realtors, being the worst golfer in town. Is that what you wanted me to say, Sheldon?
Yes, Julie, with your stellar career in real estate in Florida and now here, and you also being the Florida Girls State High School champion, in addition to playing for Florida Gulf Coast, I know people would want your opinion about my golf game.
Well, Sheldon, it's a good thing you're great at real estate because your golf game is underwater, where most of your golf balls end up.
Thanks a lot. You know, people often say that when you want the job done, you call Sheldon.
Yes, but they also say that if someone is wanting to sell a home or buy one, I make it easy, so they call Julie Molay-Mary at 305-0112.
Got it. And you can reach me, Sheldon Rosengarten, at 483-0546 or MemphisRelocate.com. That's MemphisRelocate.com or 483-0546.
I know that hiring can be challenging. You need someone to match your role perfectly. Well, now you can meet them fast on ZipRecruiter.
Build your team, build it sooner. Meet your match on ZipRecruiter.
Just head to ZipRecruiter.com/free right now to try it for free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Meet your match on ZipRecruiter. Try it free.
It's often said that eggs are nature's perfect food. They're good and good for you. So why not have the perfect food cooked the perfect way by Sunrise? Sunrise on Jefferson and Sunrise East on Poplar specialize in not only cooking eggs perfectly, but cooking them perfectly any way you want, fast, fresh, and just for you. Be honest, a lot of the time you really crave a breakfast made by people who really know what they're doing and genuinely care about your experience. And that's something you'll always find at Sunrise.
Napa Cafe celebrates 28 years in 2026.
Hi, I'm Glenda Hastings, owner of Napa Cafe, and I want to thank you for making us part of your dining experiences. If you are a first-time guest or have dined with us countless times, I want to thank you for making us part of your lives. Whether you're celebrating with the crowd or planning a cozy date night on the town, Napa Cafe can provide you an extraordinary evening. We have 5 dining rooms, including our private wine cellar, our Jan's room for 2 guests, and the Eleanor room for parties up to 60. Sit back, relax, and celebrate. Leave the cooking to us. Come see me at Napa Cafe, 5101 Sanderlin Avenue. We're open Wednesday through Saturday for dinner starting at 5 o'clock. We also offer curbside pickup from our full menu. For details on our stay-in, dine-out menu or reservations, visit our website at napacafe.com. We can't wait to serve you.
Come join in and celebrate 28 years of Napa Cafe in 2026.
This traffic report brought to you by City Center Liquor, just off Highway 70 in Lakeland. Local, friendly, and always fully stocked. For a 5% discount, tell them Sports 56 sent you.
Sports 56 traffic.
Good afternoon. It's crowded now, right on schedule, coming down I-40 eastbound here from Sycamore View Road out past Germantown Parkway. You got all that traffic making its way out towards Fayette County right now. Trying to get south of Memphis. In pretty good shape so far, but lots of radar. We've had to deal with that on and off today on 55 down through certain parts of DeSoto County. Hey, the low-cost drive-through vaccine clinic, it's back on Saturday, March 21st at the Humane Society of Memphis, Shelby County. Check out the cats and dogs that are available for adoption while you're on their website at memphishumane.org. I'm Commander Chuck when you're on tight traffic.
Now, back to Sports Time on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. This hour brought to you by Jaguar Land Rover Bluff City. Here once again are Brett Norsworthy and Bryant Dacus.
Here comes the hero man. Says he's the people man. Here comes the hero man.
We're back into Sports Time. Bryant and Brett with you as we've got about 30 minutes left in today's show. We got to talk about what's trending and a lot of things trending around the sports world. We just got done talking NFL with Bo Marchant. He joins us every single Monday, but we asked him, and we mentioned it very briefly when we started the show, but Kyler Murray, barring any last-minute trades, will be released next week. What feels like a good landing spot for him? Who's a team that can maybe go out there and bring him in?
Miami?
Yeah.
Moving on from Tua? Tua moves on, restart, fresh start, new place.
It'd certainly be a new start.
Tua to Phoenix.
It'd certainly be a fresh start. But, man, trying to sell either of those fan bases of we're moving off a small quarterback that has a lot of injury history and concerns, and we're bringing in a small quarterback that has a lot of injury history and concerns, that would be
and both very high maintenance.
Very, very. So I feel like that would be. I think it could work out for both of them. But I think it would be a very hard sell to those fan bases and maybe even to those front offices. Man, it feels like the same issues we've had with this guy. Bringing in a guy that's had the same issues in his past as well. So I really don't know. I mean, it's a lot of money for both of them, for those teams to just kind of say, hey, we're getting rid of you. But it feels
there aren't great options.
No, it doesn't. And it feels like, it's gotten to a point with both of these teams where the best move might just be, hey, we're going to let you go and we're going to move on and see what else is out there for us. So
back up somewhere for Kyler Murray.
I mean, it feels like that kind of seemed like the option.
Back up to C.J. Stroud. No, they got Davis Mills. No, no.
But no, there are options out there. I mean, I think I certainly don't know the backup quarterback situations at every team in the NFL, but there's got to be a lot out there that you would take Kyler Murray as that backup. And there's some situations out there where it's guys that are getting older and maybe looking towards the end of their career, 1 or 2 years. Certainly Detroit, Pittsburgh, another one if they bring Aaron Rodgers back of, hey, this guy might have just another year, come in and we're going to, see if you can be our quarterback of the future once that guy is done. With those guys, you really never know. Will they be able to get through a full season? And if that's the case, then there's an opportunity there for those guys to go out and be a starter.
But I don't know if he can leave. But Mac Jones is a better option than either Kyler Murray or Tua, isn't he?
I think you can make an argument both sides of that. I gotta see Mac Jones do it somewhere other than San Francisco in the NFL. I mean, San Francisco, I feel like I can do it.
Decent year or two in New England. Decent.
Very, very decent. Very shaky decent.
I think he's top 10 all-time passing yards for two different teams.
Is he? Wow.
I think so.
I don't know. I like I said, I think you can make an argument on both sides of Mac Jones.
I know he is in New England. He's barely top 10.
Sure.
I think in San Francisco, there's another place, I know.
Yeah.
He didn't get on the field in Jacksonville, did he?
No, not really. But I mean, that's the thing. Like, I mean, he's had opportunity places. I mean, just it hadn't really worked out. I mean, I guess it hadn't worked out for Kyler Murray or Tua either. But I don't know. I would kind of put all those guys in a very similar category.
Yeah.
I think I don't know. I don't know where I would go if you offered me Mac Jones or one of Kyler Murray and Tua.
All right, in New England, he is 7th all time in passing.
Wow.
And I think that I know there's another play. I think San Francisco.
Interesting. Yeah, I don't know. I'm not clinging for Mac Jones by any means. I mean, 7th all time in New England. I mean, why isn't he still there? I mean, it's he's
well, a lot came undone.
It did, but I don't know. I think
it's not San Francisco. Maybe Jacksonville.
Maybe, it could be Jacksonville.
Yeah.
It certainly could be Jacksonville. So no, I mean, I think there's a lot of places that have questions. I know, we've talked with Bo about, and he mentioned it there. What happens in Atlanta with the Falcons? Is this new group really sold on Penix? Is he the guy in the future for them? They're
number 9 in Jacksonville.
Wow, how about that? That's,
2 top 10s.
Yeah, I mean. That's great. I don't know. I've never watched Mac Jones and been like, yeah, that's the guy I want to hand the keys to the franchise over to.
Do you have your Ken Palm account handy?
Yeah, I do. Brett, I always have my Ken Palm
thank
account
you.
handy.
Good. You don't leave home without it, do you?
Absolutely not.
I want to hear how he ranks the conferences.
Okay.
Because I was looking around today, and I stumbled onto a site that kind of the old RPI ranking for conferences.
Yeah.
And it had number 1, Big 12.
Okay.
No argument. It had 2, the SEC. What does Ken Palm have?
Ken Palm has number 1, the SEC. He goes by his net rating for each conference. He has The SEC with a plus 19.58 net ranking. Big 12 with an 18.13 net ranking. So he has 1 SEC, 2 Big 12, 3 Big 10, 4 ACC, 5 Big East. That's his top 5 conferences.
Where does Ken Palm have the American?
He has the American at number 10.
This has the American at 11, behind the WAC, ahead of the CAA. And this is what started my hunt for it today. And I'm not going to try to make the case that it is, but the MAC is not that much worse than the American, is it? 3 spots behind, according to this list I found.
I don't know if I would be that high on the MAC. Ken Palm has the MAC at 17 and the American at 10. So he has a pretty... Now, his net rank... I should say this. His rankings is of conferences by net rating of team expected to go 500 in conference play. So that is how he gets to his net ranking. But he has the MAC at 17 and the American at 10.
Brian, do you remember 2 years ago when Memphis Tourism bought the logos on the end lines at Dickies Arena, and that was kind of their first salvo of making the bid that was after last year's final year at Dickies Arena to host this year for the American. You remember all that?
I do, yeah.
And you remember my take on it?
Yeah, I do.
Very opposed to it. I thought it was a waste of time and a waste of money. I did then, and it proved out. Imagine if they had gotten that bid, and next week we're hosting that nightmare.
Yeah, no, I mean it's
not bringing anybody to town. I don't know how they generate their money, but there's no way that could be a winner next week.
No, and I mean,
I said all that.
Yeah.
I never dreaming Memphis may not even be in the tournament.
Yeah, no kidding. Yeah, I mean, we saw it with Dickies the last couple of years. Just nobody in attendance for any games. Even when North Texas, in the neighborhood was playing, it was nobody there for those games. And so, yeah, I mean, I don't know what it looks like.
There's just no appetite in that league for teams of other teams.
Yeah, no.
There's not a Tiger fan one. They care about the Tigers, but they're not sweating. They may have to this weekend to see if even you get in.
Yeah.
Need help the final week of the year to get in the American tournament. Can you believe that?
No, it's crazy.
But there's no Tiger fan out there scoreboard watching night in, night out in this dreadful league, and they're not doing it in football either.
No.
They don't care what's going on at the other places.
No, it's what's going on with the Tigers, and that's about it. And you're right. I mean, this weekend certainly could be scoreboard watching to a couple other teams in conference. But yeah, and I mean, you look, this is kind of where the conference has been for the last couple of years. You go back last year, American 11th, the year before the American 9th. So last 3 years, 2023. 8th. So the last 3 years, 9, 10, or 11, and then the year before that, 8th. So, they've always kind of been in this range in terms of a conference, and you're right, there's just not that appetite. And I don't know what to expect next week in Birmingham, but I expect it will look pretty similar to what it looked like in Dickies, where, any game you turn on, it's going to be some pretty lean crowds.
What if going downtown and playing at the BJCC is the answer for UAB's home woes?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, that was I forgot what game it was. Maybe the last week or the week before. Maybe it was the Tigers. It might have been when UAB was playing here against the Tigers, and I was watching the broadcast, and they were kind of making jokes about that. They were like, "Yeah, we talked to Andy Kennedy before the game about how bad they've been at home and how great they've been on the road, and kind of pointed out that the conference tournament's in Birmingham, and does the home woes, does that just stick to the arena, the gym you're playing in, or does that include the entire city as a whole? I mean, it's a good question, and I guess we'll find out next week for you.
A lot of woes, isn't it?
A lot of woes, and it's a very weird. I mean, I can't. Mark Wise said he couldn't explain it. I can't explain it. I don't think anybody can explain why UAB is so good on the road and so bad at home.
If the Tigers are the 10 seed in Birmingham, they would play on Wednesday night at 8 Central against the 7. If they're the 8 or 9, they would play on Wednesday night, either against the 9 or the 8, whatever they are. That game would be at 6.
Yeah. Hope for the earlier start time, just personally.
Are you scoreboard watching? how moved are you about getting in or not making it or get it over with or what?
I'm pretty confident that they're gonna get in, and it's not gonna really be down to the wire. I mean, right now, what are they, 8th or 9th right now? And you've got Temple behind you, you got Rice behind you, and you've got East Carolina. Those are the 3 teams that are kind of in play to make that jump. And looking at the remaining schedules for all 3 of those, I feel pretty confident Memphis will be in. I mean, they might be that final seed as the 10 seed. I feel pretty confident they'll be in, so I'm not sweating it. Hey, if the season ends on Sunday or with that final game, it might be the best thing. Maybe just, hey, let's get done with the season and then worry about the off season and worry about what this team looks like next year. I'm not sweating it one way or the other.
Hosting the American tournament would have been the dumbest throwing good money on to bad ever.
Yeah, no, I think it.
And here's my proof. In the spring of 2024, just 2 years ago, we hosted an NCAA tournament that nobody went to, and out of 8 first-round sites, Memphis was 8th by 9 miles.
Yeah, no, it's a really good point. That's the NCAA tournament, not a conference tournament. So I mean, it's I think it was a good decision for the American not to choose Memphis. I'm curious to see what it looks like in Birmingham.
And I got blistered over it. I ran into, I would call him mover shaker around town after my diatribe really started in the spring of 24, continued last year, got it right up to it, and very heatedly at a Grizzlies game, he chastised me. We're trying to get people to town. I go, nobody's coming to see this.
Yeah, no.
Nobody.
No.
Then I told him, I said, you let me worry about the content and what I say on my show, our show.
No, I don't think it would have brought in much. Now, look, I mean, I think, there are people out there from, different teams that, you see it with every road game. You see it at conference tournament. There are people that would come. I just don't think it's big enough to kind of be a needle mover. I mean, if it was here, I'd be at the games. I'd go to the conference tournament if it was here. But that is not the majority of what people would decide if the tournament was here. So, I think the decision was good, and obviously, there were a lot of other factors in there with the women's tournament and kind of everything that played out for Birmingham to get it.
I do think splitting the bid and only wanting men's.
That was big.
Probably saved us.
Yeah, no, that was big into the decision making process for Birmingham to get it over any of the other cities that really wanted it. But we'll see what happens over these last couple of days in conference play, and 2 more for the Tigers, 1 at home, 1 on the road against 2 teams that have already beaten them once this season. But we need to get to our final break of the day, and when we return, we'll wrap up today's show with Moe's and Humdinger's Crunch Time.
Broadcasting from the Family Leisure Studio, we are Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
Since 1948, in the alley, the Rendezvous. I'm with John Burgos. John, what's going on in the Rendezvous?
Brett, after 76 years, we've decided to expand our product line. Anyone who's tasted our ribs is familiar with our vinegar base. It's now available in a 32-ounce jar. It's so good to base or marinate all meats. I even put a little bit on turnip greens. Something we've been using at the restaurant or at our house has been the Greek seasoning. My father was a cook, but my mother was a chef, and she was the one that put Greek seasoning on everything from a Mediterranean diet or a steak. My mom used it on soup, salad, veggies, fish, any meats. It's a great seasoning and a flavor enhancer. My brother Nick figured out salt and pepper was more than just McCormick's and Morton's. He's come up with a perfect blend we use to coat our shoulders and our brisket, and he used to make it for his friends as Christmas gifts, and they loved it. All these products are available at the Rendezvous or online for shipping as gifts and in many grocery stores. And if they're not in your favorite grocery store, ask your grocer to stock it.
A beloved family affair and still going strong since 1948, the Rendezvous.
It's a new year, and it's the first new sale at Family Leisure. It's the floor model sale happening now. Family Leisure has deep, like diving deep discounts on over 100 display models and in-stock hot tubs, swim spas, even those cold plunges. How deep are these discounts? I'm not allowed to say. So if you've been putting off getting a new spa, then right now is the best time to buy. Here's one price I can let loose. You can get a spa as low as $99 a month. Plus, you can get over $1,000 in upgrades with every spa purchased. One other special deal, you can get an $8,000 spa for only $159 a month. And you know what? Family Leisure is going to throw in some LED lights and waterfalls on most models. Room's got to be made, and so do the deals at Family Leisure, Whitten Road at I-40, where family and fun come together.
Download to see if you qualify. Not all customers will qualify. No subscription required. Albert is not a bank. Albert Instant Loans are issued by FinWise Bank. Member FDIC. Terms apply.
Meet Albert, your personal financial assistant, an app that manages your finances. Albert analyzes your income, bills, and cash flow to create custom budgets, help you manage spending, and even find savings automatically in the background. Plus, when you need cash, you can get up to $10,000 fast. Yes, you heard that right. $10,000 for unexpected expenses, debt consolidation, travel, whatever you need. Just download the Albert app. And get this. Have a question about your finances? Ask Genius anything. Albert's AI assistant. Members are saving hundreds of dollars within months of joining Albert, the personal finance app that does it for you. Don't wait.
Download Albert and use promo code VALUE for your 30-day trial and borrow up to $10,000. That's promo code VALUE. Use promo code VALUE to borrow up to $10,000 with the Albert app.
If wedding bells are in your future, you need an unforgettable engagement ring from a jeweler you can trust. And that's been James Gaddis Jewelers for over 60 years. With a huge selection and the best prices, James Gaddis is a master jeweler and diamondologist. Beautiful jewelry from James Gaddis is always the right choice. Choose from rings to earrings, necklaces to bracelets, and gemstones to watches. Layaway and financing available. James Gaddis Jewelers, 4900 Poplar, online at GaddisJewelers.com and Instagram at Gaddis Jewelers. Say I do at James Gaddis Jewelers.
The 2025 Range Rover Sport sits right at the heart of the Land Rover lineup, offering a perfect mix of style, performance, and versatility. Smaller and more agile than a full-size Range Rover, it's a great option for everyone who wants luxury and practicality. Every model comes with 8-speed automatic transmission and all-wheel drive standard. Whether you navigate city streets or tackle rough terrain, Range Rover Sport has you covered. Every drive is powerful and breathtaking. The 2025 Range Rover Sport is the epitome of sporting luxury. Test drive one at Jaguar Land Rover Bluff City.
Crunch Time is brought to you by Humdinger's Taco Tuesday. Enjoy crunchy slaw, grilled fish, and chicken, and the best taco sauce in town. $2 tacos all day. The best deal in town.
Now, back to Sports Time on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. This hour brought to you by Jaguar Land Rover Bluff City. Here once again are Brett Norsworthy and Bryant Dacus.
Say you stand by your man. Tell me something.
This is pretty cool, and we're just getting started.
Spanning the globe.
Go crazy, folks! Go crazy!
This game has always been called the world's greatest cocktail party. Do you know what is going to happen here tonight?
This is for all the biggest Crunch Time. You are looking live. In your life have you seen anything like that?
Crunch time between the hedges.
The ball game is over, and Memphis has its first win in 16 tries. Its first win ever against its fierce in-state rival Tennessee.
It's obviously Crunch Time.
Hammer, nail, coffin. This baby is over.
Crunch Time is brought to you on Tuesdays by Humdinger's Taco Tuesday. Enjoy crunchy slaw, grilled fish and chicken, and the best taco sauce in town. $2 tacos all day. It is by far the best deal in town. Well, Brett, what I learned today is we are getting maybe some more clarity, but a lot of questions around the NFL because today was the deadline to franchise tag different players. We also learned the big news this afternoon that Kyler Murray, unless there is a trade in place, will be cut. So no matter what happens, he will not be back with the team next season. So what does that mean for Arizona next year? What does that mean for Kyler Murray? Obviously, the other big name in terms of quarterbacks is Tua Tagovailoa. What happens with him, but we have seen a lot around the league about different franchise tags and what's going on. Kyle Pitts with Atlanta, some other guys. Kenneth Walker did not get the tag, so he will be a free agent. And we'll see, obviously, after getting a Super Bowl MVP, what his market looks like. I think getting Super Bowl MVP will certainly help him maybe add a couple extra dollars to that contract that he ultimately signs in free agency. So a lot of people I know here locally will be watching him, see where he lands. It should be a lot of fun once free agency gets started.
What I learned, I go way back to my not top story of the day, and I've talked Duke, Arizona, Michigan, UConn, Florida as a league of their own.
Mm-hmm.
Arizona deserves to be in that listing, don't they?
Yeah, no, they definitely do.
Okay, I think so too, but they should be really careful.
Mm-hmm.
Tommy Lloyd's been great, except for in the NCAA tournament, and that's what college basketball is defined by.
That is.
I didn't make the rules.
No, yeah, and it's what it comes down to. It's what do you do in the postseason? What do you do in the tournament?
He hadn't been past the Sweet 16.
No, that's right. Yeah, he has not made it past the Sweet 16.
Two Sweet 16s and 2 first-round losses, or 3 Sweet 16s and a first-round loss. Something like that.
I want to say it's 2 and 2, but it's certainly close to that. So yeah, you like you said, you didn't make the rules. It's kind of what it is, and
Landon made the rules.
That's right.
Brett.
Yeah, and I hate him for it.
My bad.
Yeah, no, I'm kidding. But no, it's
that's
just
that rookie contract coming to an end.
That's right. Yeah.
When's it end, though?
No, I don't know.
I think it's over.
I don't know. I never know with you. But what I could have done without today, the news that came out earlier today, Jerkson Profar facing a 162-game suspension after testing positive for PEDs.
He's going to miss 162 2 years in a row.
It's insane. Like you
this
said,
year and next.
Yeah, well, that's true. But this is the second time it's happened to him now. Missed some time already because of the PED. So second time. And now Braves fans, I've seen it all over. I know our friend DeMichael Cole put it out on his social media. The worst signing in Braves team history goes to Jerkson Profar. I mean, it is really, really bad.
At least Dexter Fowler played for the Cardinals.
Well, that is true. But man, Jerkson Profar, second time, you can do it once and I'll forgive you, but 2 times, that's too many.
Yeah, you got to know. I could have done without Trey Young last night in his debut with Washington.
Yeah.
Look, he did a number on Atlanta, just like Jaws done on the Grizzlies, but they at least could deal him. I don't know if the Grizzlies can give away Ja Morant, but last night he gets tossed in street clothes.
That's right, yeah, and the news came out earlier that he's getting closer to a return and could play in the next week or two.
What a way to endear yourself to management.
Yeah, just gets out there and gets thrown out, and it sounds like based on some reporting that it could be maybe fines and or a game suspension because of that, because of coming off the bench, because of going towards an official like that. It could be more than just being ejected last night, so we'll definitely keep an eye on that. But where are you beaming tonight?
One of my favorite things when Jack Buck and Mike Shannon, when they would be doing a game and they'd give a shout out to an affiliate, and Mike Shannon would go, all the people listening in Memphis. No, not that Memphis, but Memphis, Missouri. The Memphis. So I'm gonna do it. Oxford, but no, not that one.
Yeah.
Oxford, OH. Oxford, Ohio.
How much
tonight.
they do that up there in Oxford, Ohio?
Don't they all do it? Isn't it a rule?
That's true. It feels like it.
29-0 against Toledo. If they win, they'll be going for 31-0 Saturday at OH at Ohio.
That's right. Yes, a lot of OHIOs, but none for Ohio State, which is certainly interesting. Beam me to the horizon again. Night 2 of action. Green Bay and Doug Gottlieb against Purdue Fort Wayne. That should be a fun game. Getting started at 7:00.
Grizzlies in Minneapolis. T-Wolves need a win. Grizzlies need a loss.
Yeah.
Let's all leave friends.
That's right. Let's all leave happy. Some NBA games tonight. A lot of college action.
Kentucky at A&M. The Bear Bryant Bowl. He coached it both.
That's right. Yeah, a lot of SEC play as well. We'll have Ole Miss against Vanderbilt tonight with the pregame show starting at 7:30. But that's all the time we have. Enjoy the rest of your night. We'll talk to you again tomorrow afternoon.